The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the host and guest and do not reflect the opinions or policies of the station, its owners, or its advertisers. All content should be considered editorial in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Recorded live from the radio studios of WFAY and WMRV. Androlonis Media presents Cumberland County's smartest hour of talk radio. Welcome back to another edition of the Carolina Cabinet.
Everyone, good morning and welcome to the Carolina Cabinet. I'm your host, Peter Pappas. I'm in studio with Pastor Joshua Goodman.
Good morning, family.
Bree Eldridge.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Heather Holmes, Pistol Packin' Mama.
Good morning.
Good to see you. And welcoming back Bishop J. Antoine Miner.
The Bishop.
Here.
With guest producer Jim over here in the corner. So, welcome to the Carolina Cabinet. We know this is the smartest hour of radio. You're listening to us on WMRV and WFAY. Please like, share, and follow our page. We have a new website, thecarolinacabinet.com. So don't go far, and we'll be right back.
Since 2012, Joshua Goodman has been the senior pastor at the Cliffdale Christian Center, a dynamic church and ministry located in West Fayetteville. Join our friend Pastor Goodman for a podcast or a live sermon in person at 6427 Cliffdale Road. Now, for today's good news, here is Joshua Goodman.
Well, good morning from the All-American City. This is Pastor Josh, and have I got some good news for you in a time when so many want to unpack, talk about, and discuss all the problems, circumstances, and situations, all the negative junk. I'm here to give you some good news. You know, for the longest time, one of my favorite men in the Bible has always been the Apostle Peter. Why, you ask? Well, because he often spoke too much. He made a lot of mistakes. He tried to walk on water, and my boy sank. Just before the crucifixion, Peter boldly proclaims that he would fight and even die for Jesus. Jesus then just totally knocks the wind out of Peter's sails by telling him that before the night was over, he would deny Christ 3 times. Peter, when he was young, bold, kind of silly, but as he grew older, wisdom began to set in. We see him writing to the church at Asia Minor in his epistle, 1 Peter chapter 2, and he says this, he says, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." Friend, can I tell you today as a word of encouragement, when this world is trying to get you down and tell you that you're nothing and that you're nobody, you are a chosen generation. You have been hand-selected by God to be part of his family. We can't work for it. We can't earn it. It is only by his grace. Number 2, you are a royal priesthood. As believers, check this out, you have the opportunity to approach Almighty God. The God of the universe, King of kings and Lord of lords, allows you entrance into his presence day or night. Number 3, you are a holy nation. Now, this one can be a little bit frightening because what it's telling us is that we are to be holy as he is holy. We can no longer adhere to the world's standards any longer. We are a reflection of our Heavenly Father. And then finally, the 4th one, you are a peculiar people. Now, I'm not going to lie, some of y'all out there, you a little bit more peculiar than everybody else, but we love you anyway. But listen, it's not just saying that you're different. You're supposed to be different. We are individuals who belong entirely to God, and in today's day and age, that is very peculiar. And last but not least, it is all these things that lead us to the culmination of today's good news. We now have the ability to proclaim praises to the one who has called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. This is Pastor Josh, and that is your good news.
Conservative local radio talk show that you're not afraid to tell your friends about. The Carolina Cabinet, land of the free thinkers, and talk show of the brave.
And welcome back to the Carolina Cabinet. I'm Peter Pappas in studio with a full cabinet. I love having a full cabinet.
Whoop, whoop.
It's very nice.
Are we on the cabinet or in the cabinet tonight, though?
Tonight we're on the cabinet.
On the cabinet, good.
Yes. So
I'm in the closet.
You're go back in the closet, Bishop. Bishop, you're just a troublemaker, and we can only bring you out for short stints.
Very good.
Because you know.
And are we allowed to call you Bishop anymore, or do we have to call you Captain America?
I'm Captain America. I am the man, the legend.
Can I just call you Cap?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I like Cap. Welcome. Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about. Well, first of all, Josh, we missed you last week, but thank you for bringing the good news.
Yes, sir.
Tonight. And of course, St. Peter. That's kind of kin to my heart.
I know.
like that. Why are you shaking your head at me, Miss Holmes?
Because you are definitely not Peter.
I never said I was a saint. I just said I like the namesake. Okay.
I don't know. There might be a few similarities. I mean, a guy who talks too much.
He
makes silly mistakes.
Okay.
I mean, he tried to walk on water. He sank. I mean,
He did.
Look at me. I'm
Okay,
like a rock.
hold on. But see, you...
And Peter was a cusser.
He
carried a
he did he was a cusser because that girl with the fire.
Yeah.
He cussed her out and said, "I don't know him at all."
And he carried a knife, and Peter cut sandwiches. So
there you go.
No, he cut ears. He cut ears.
No, this Peter cut sandwiches.
Yeah, but that ain't the same Peter. The other Peter cut ears.
Everybody want to cut me down, but they can't be me. You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter.
So, but what a theme this week. Everybody trying to tear a brother down.
Yeah.
It really is.
Brother
I'm
down.
sorry, but that's what this week has been here. So so I want to go around the room, see what everyone's been up to this week, but I know, Josh, we're going to have to let you out of here soon.
Yeah.
You got a big family celebration. So
Busted loose.
I'm not going to ask you yet, Bishop.
Yeah, because that's going to ripple the water.
So that's going to go into the other half of the show. So Pastor Josh, how was your last week? You were
It was
out
good.
last
So
week,
it was crazy, right? Because once or twice a year, I work so hard that I push myself to the point of fatigue.
Right.
I'm 51 years old. I know the signs, and sometimes I just ignore them.
Right.
And so I wasn't here last week because I had pushed myself way completely over the edge. And how about that? And then, right, on Wednesday, we begin to get, these snowstorms and snowmageddon,
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
Kids are out of school. We're in PJs watching movies all day long. And that's so I would love to sit here and tell you that my week was full of ministry and laying hands on the sick. But we did put together a phenomenal 18th birthday party. Happy birthday, Amari.
Okay.
Happy
To my
birthday,
daughter
Amari.
who turned 18.
birthday.
Woo woo.
Okay.
That's a
So,
big milestone.
yeah.
And she's a sweetheart.
She is.
She is such a sweetheart.
Well,
Because he's close to
Now she's
The
going to do stuff and you can't arrest her.
Yeah.
Pops after her anymore.
Nah,
to lose his.
I don't know what's going on here, but
Peter,
okay,
Josh
so-
said he was close to the edge. And
Yeah.
don't want to be pushed.
all right. Well,
We were
Bree,
singing.
And Bishop and Heather are dancing together
yeah,
across
I
the table.
see. That's why I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what is going on? Okay. So, well, Josh, I'm glad you had a good week. I'm
Yep.
glad you've recovered, and I'm sorry you had because I get the emails from your church about you can't have the family dinner on Wednesday night.
And you know that's,
And then, but then what a letdown
How is
Thursday
it
morning.
you're getting emails and I'm not?
You're not
because
on the email list?
I'm on the
I put
list.
you on the list. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
And I'm
I'll
a
get it.
member.
I'm
I know
on-
I haven't been, but
Hey,
I'm still a member.
I'm on more lists than Schindler. Okay.
Oh,
So.
my.
I don't think that's something to brag about.
I don't want to be on that list, brother.
So anyway,
I'm going to write it down right now to get Heather's email.
Because I don't get
There's
texts
emails.
anymore either.
So you have to opt in for that, but I can
Yes.
take care of that
Yeah.
all at the same
Because
time.
I used to get,
Did they ghost you?
they did.
You know,
But
sometimes when you get angry and you shut off all your
Never.
socials and everything, you probably shut them off at the
I
same
did
time.
not shut
I'm
them
sure
off.
you did.
I'd shut you off, not
I'm
them.
telling her
fine.
what she did.
Yeah. So,
I
well,
thought I had Elizabeth Warren on my friends list. I was about to delete my Facebook.
Pocahontas. Oh,
But it was somebody else with the last name Warren. I got nervous.
That's
well, Bree, let's go to you. So, what have you been up to the last week or so?
Well, just busy
You're busy,
doing stuff.
busy doing stuffs and things.
Stuffs
So,
And things.
so I think, and that'll be the topic of discussion here a little bit. But I think Bree and Bishop have been stirring the pot a
Haven't
little
done
bit with the
anything.
GOP.
Pot
Well,
stirring.
all you did was speak truth to idiots.
Let me tell you, I'm like Mary Poppins.
Oh.
You know Mary Poppins saying?
Yes.
When you want me but don't need me, I must go. When you need me but don't want me, I must stay. I'm Mary Poppins.
Are you going to
I
start
thought
singing?
it was the spoonful of sugar.
That
was
was
going
going
to
to
help
say.
them.
Hey.
Or are you going to start singing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Expialidocious.
You're very fragile. GOP board members.
Oh, my Lord. All right, well, let's get through the rest of our weeks
Yeah.
here, and then we're going to get
There
back
we
to
go.
that. So, Heather, it's up to you now. What you been up to?
I guess I've been causing trouble too.
You
This is
have
our
been,
other little
yes.
pot stirrer.
Yes,
yeah,
she
I'm
really
another
has.
one.
Pot stirrer, not pot smoker.
Just dealing with some personal stuff
Much
and
better.
going to class for the at Lightum and
Mm-hmm.
my master's and just being a mom, just life, honestly.
Life.
Yeah, doing life.
As long as you're doing life and life ain't doing you, you good.
No, life is doing me right now, actually.
Life is doing
Keep
her.
that to this is
Never
a
mind.
family-friendly show.
I didn't get the memo on that one, Bishop. Sorry. So, all right. So we've all been busy stirring the pot. I've just been working and paying some bills.
And
so,
I just want to clarify,
yeah.
none of us are running for anything right now.
Right.
Nothing.
We are not running on a slate. We are not running for any
Well,
kind of
is it
leadership
speaking truth to
position.
power? Is that what they say?
And this is Black History
Yeah.
Month. I ain't even
Okay.
running from the master.
Oh.
Ain't
Telling
nobody
you.
running.
Well, if
Telling
you ran, I would have hit you.
Yeah, you got 5 more days.
5 more.
4 more days. 4 more days. 4 more days.
You get the
They coming
shortest
for me.
shortest month out the year we give you.
Shortest
Now,
month.
then we have to smash that pumpkin.
And then it's my birthday month.
Oh, yeah. What this
We
new
get it
trend
on
of
birthday
birthday
No,
months
I
and
don't
these
do- I
entitled
don't do
gals.
Entire
you know?
birthday month.
I just do my day.
Yeah.
You do one day,
Yeah, I just do my
I
day.
do the year.
Just let her do that one. Okay.
Still celebrating from last year.
So we do have some good things to talk about. Just in the national news, Dan Bongino, he's the now
Awesome.
assistant
Deputy
head of
director.
deputy director of
Yeah.
FBI.
He's giving
So
up his podcast.
He's amazing.
yeah.
I love watching him because he's former Secret Service.
I didn't know he was former secret. I just
Yeah.
thought he was a
Yeah.
radio guy, and then
No.
somebody's like, "No, he's former."
He's
I
former
was thinking,
Secret Service.
Yeah, I think he was in there with. Was he with Clinton or Obama?
Obama.
Something
He was
like that.
Obama's
Obama, yeah.
security
Yep, yep.
detail. But it's funny how when the news talks about him, they always leave out his law enforcement and Secret Service
Oh, yeah.
background. They just say,
Right.
oh, he's a far right or left wing commentator, podcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't put in there that the man was on Obama's Secret Service detail. And that he has a lifetime of law enforcement. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. Well, not really amazing. It's
Well-
it's not
rounded.
surprising.
It's not.
That comes
It's
out. Yeah. So we got him. Who else did we get? Cash Patel.
Cash Patel.
We got Cash. So we got him a
Yes.
boss and a deputy. And Cash he did a nice speech where he talked about being a first generation Indian
Yeah.
kid, and here he is the American dream.
Is he related to Pavin?
I don't think so, but
That'd be nice
I
if
think
we
if
had
we
an
go far
inside
enough
track.
back,
He's
we
Indian? Is he related to Elizabeth Warren?
No, not that kind. He's red dot.
7-Eleven,
He's
not a
red dot,
feather.
not feather.
Oh,
Dot, not feather. Yeah.
no.
Red dot, not feather.
We got some other good news that happened in national
that?
news.
Ooh, what?
Joy Reid got fired. Joy Reid got fired.
So tell me about Joy Reid, because I don't know who that is. Who is that?
DEI.
Who, DEI what?
She is. You can tell the people who were hired
nonsense.
for DEI purposes.
DEI.
Because DEI purposes. Because now that Trump is rolling back all the DEI stuff, they all getting fired. Which lets you know none of it was merit based. They were all DEI hires. Period.
Yeah, but one thing I
yeah.
don't agree with, I was talking to my best friend last night on the phone, and she's a nurse for the federal government, and because he's having them write down like what they did last week, and it's ridiculous because she's a nurse, and I feel like, and I agree with her when it came to it, because it's like she's a nurse, how are you going to sit there?
Heather.
No, I do, because they're always busy, they're doing something.
Okay,
Like,
then she should have something to write.
but what
There
I'm
you go.
saying is go after the admin people. Go after our military who don't do nothing except for
Hey,
they don't even show up to PT anymore.
Okay, I hear some violence coming
Hey,
out now. All right,
hey,
guys.
who?
You know as well as I do.
I think every federal work. Listen, at the end of the day, whether you're a federal worker or a private sector worker, if your boss says, "Tell me what you did last week," and you can't tell them what you did, you're getting fired.
I agree, but at
So-
the same time, if you're in the medical profession and you're dealing with patients all day long,
So what you do? I mean, even nurses, when they're dealing with patients, they have to chart all
Exactly.
day. So you should be able to at least show what you charted and how many patients you
but now
dealt
she's
with.
got to go back and document what she charted. And
She should have been
but
documenting
all
the whole
that,
time.
Hold on, but all that stuff falls under HIPAA though. So are you
Well, she doesn't
patient
have to
X,
say the
patient
patient's
Y?
name.
You don't have
She
to
just
say
has-
the patient's name.
All
Just-
I'm saying
I mean,
is
you don't have to tell her that had chlamydia.
I agree with it, but there's a point where I feel like it's a little ridiculous.
Well, okay, all right. Let's mention this for a moment. Hold on, I got your mic off, but
Okay.
let's just mention this. the man's only been Donald Trump has been in office for like a month and a half. What,
Not
a month
even a
at
month
this
and a
point?
half.
No.
Okay.
It's like a
month and
4
4
days.
Can we let the man walk into his office and take a breath? Because there is
Well,
going
he
to be
didn't
collateral.
actually come to take a breath.
Well, he
did
didn't,
not come
but
to take a
Like
breath.
on a-
at all.
can we
He
not
came
just
to kick butt and chew bubble gum. And
Yeah.
he's
So-
out
He's
of
out of
bubble gum.
bubble gum.
He's got
So
4
if I-
years to
if
do
I
it.
can say something for
Gary,
about
come on in.
the compliance stuff that you're talking about, that's actually one of the reasons why I stepped away from the professional arena of government risk and compliance is because nobody wanted to do the paperwork.
No.
I mean, these regulations and these standards have been out for the federal government in all departments for the past 10 plus years.
And not even them being out, but I'm learning from personal experience. There's so many federal regulations and laws. Nobody, you can't keep track of them.
I mean, but they got FSMA. FSMA made it very simple for all the government officials.
English. What is FSMA?
FSMA is the Federal
for us,
Information
idiots in the
Security Management
Apparatus.
Block. Yes.
Apparatus.
Apparati.
Yeah,
Okay.
fill in your acronym, okay? But at the end of the day, basically, it is the governance, risk, and compliance that went out to say, hey, you need to document this, you need to have a trail for this, for everything from all of the everybody out there, for all of the government standards that are out there for all the different departments. And one of the things was a lot of people do not want to document their process. They do not want to have that quality check that needs to happen.
No, I agree.
And they don't want to have that conversation. So, yeah, go ahead. You want to fire all the people that's doing all the work.
That's what
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you fired. I mean, you have to look at the people that were let go. A majority of the people that were let go were a lot of the people that were in their 90 to a 1 year window.
So
Do you understand what I'm saying?
hires.
Yeah,
They
the
were still in
probationary
probation.
hires. So
Because
I mean,
they're
they could have.
they're
They
the ones
could have
always
been
first to go
They
anyway.
could have been. Yeah, they have to be
They
first to
have
go.
to be first to go. Yeah.
Like you have to fire them by government standards.
Yeah.
You have to fire them first. And the thing
Like
is
corporate
like so
standards.
But
you're
that's not the people we're concerned with. That's not really
But
the
here's the
swamp.
thing. But hold on, wait though. You talk about merit. It's about merit. But you just fired a whole bunch of people that you just hired, probably most likely based off of merit. That's why I
Who
say
hired
that
them
it's
based
not,
off merit? Biden? Because that's where they all came. They came.
Well,
No,
they
they were
didn't
all
all come
DEI
from
hires.
Biden.
I was going to say
I'm
no,
pretty sure they
because
didn't
I'm
all
still
come
having
from
a hard
Biden.
time finding
If
a
they,
job.
if they're
Because
in
you
their
have-
more than
probationary
qualified.
time, they were probably hired under Biden.
Well, here's the thing: is that Biden does not hire.
Well,
the,
not
the
Biden. I'm talking
general,
about the Biden administration. They hired.
the Biden administration does not hire government civilians at the lowest levels.
well,
That is the actual department heads.
Exactly, but the departments,
Yes.
the department heads answer to the department chiefs and
Yeah,
the
but
secretaries.
the
and stuff.
department chiefs don't
so
do the hiring
whatever
either.
the hiring standard is that came down through the Biden administration, which is primarily DEI, you're gonna have a lot of. So we're not looking at merit, and when you're looking at merit, at the end of the day. The president is your boss. If you work for the federal government, he is the chief executive of the federal government. He has the sole right. I think it is the 10th Amendment or something gives the power of the federal government, the executive branch, to one person that says a president. Meaning Donald Trump is the president at this time, and if he decides to fire the whole federal government, it is his purview to do so.
yes.
So I wanna-
And if he says to his employees, I want to know because we got a lot of fat here, and we got departments where what the heck is that? Shoot, the devil is a lie. Hey, Shondo. If you got all of these departments and they're saying, okay, we have entire federal buildings that are empty. We have in this department, you may have 30,000 additional employees that they're not doing anything. So if you're going to cut down on costs, then we need to look at how many of you guys that we're paying every 2 weeks or every 30 days are doing nothing.
I
And
agree.
if
So
you
here's
can't
it.
prove
Here's
that you're doing
I
something,
agree.
you got to
I
go.
want to say something real quick. Well, if you
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I was telling somebody this. Well, I'm not going to tell you who I was telling, but I was telling somebody this. There was a TikTok that was
Secret
going
secrets.
around of a man dressed as a woman with nails and makeup, and he's doing a TikTok on his day as an intern in the White House under Biden. And the whole TikTok is a joke because he's going to get coffee.
I think I've
Hey,
seen that
girl.
video.
I mean, it's absolutely
So a
ridiculous.
trans man or just a cross-dresser?
I don't know.
What are we dealing
I
with?
don't know. I don't
Okay.
really care what you want.
Do we
to
still
be
have
when you wake up.
cross-dressers anymore?
I
or
don't
is
think it matters.
It doesn't matter. I
All
could
right,
care less.
fine.
That's your life. My thing is he put this out on social media that he's working under the Biden administration, and he's doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Well, that's work.
He's just piddling around all day and gossiping and getting coffee and doing this and
I'm
doing
just being
that.
purdy.
Yeah, you know.
I'm eye
so
candy.
so that right there, absolutely. Bye. You don't need to be working at all. Sorry. Now you can. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to throw that
We
out
seem
there.
to do that
No,
a
it's
lot
okay.
in this room. We
It's
really
all
do.
right. I mean, there's to me there's various degrees of what
Ineptness?
could be considered non-work and what could be considered work. Because when you are actually having to look at a screen for 9 to 10 hours, 12 hours out the day to find out if something moved 3 feet, like
Yeah.
that could be
Yeah.
considered non-work.
Absolutely.
And the only thing to keep your brain from fogging out is for you to get up and go and have a coffee break and have a stimulating conversation with somebody else. But your whole job is to find out if something moved 3 feet. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or if your whole job is to monitor a network that, yes, the network is up. So guess what? Your job is pretty much good. But
Until
you're
it's
to
not.
monitor that network until it's not. So you can't say that, oh, well, my job is doing nothing because my job is complete until it breaks. And then when it breaks, I have a problem because now I have something to solve.
Right.
And so there's various levels of how work happens. And then to go back to the merit thing, because I've been thinking about this for a while, about this whole quote unquote merit. I don't understand it because the reason for DEI and EEO and all those lovely acronyms, affirmative action and all that lovely stuff was because of the simple fact that there was an inequality in the actual placement. And it didn't actually have to do with the merit because it's been proven time and time again through the blue baby surgery, through the open heart surgery that was done, through you having the ability to have a traffic light, a gas mask, and go into space. Like, it's been proven that merit has been, it wasn't based off of merit on why you didn't do the hire or based off of merit on why the person didn't get the job. So that was why inequality solutions were placed in the beginning. However, the reasons for those solutions to be placed were not taken by the people that they were placed for.
Well, and
you understand what I'm saying?
Well, but okay, all right, but and then I'm gonna go off of that too because think about in I'm just gonna say it. Screw it.
Say it.
How
Say it, Heather.
Okay, you're a black male. You're a black female. Okay, you guys have.
Are you guys okay with that?
I feel like
I'm
I've been
trying to figure out how I can
I hope
say
you
this
know
because I
that.
don't want to come across. But
I'm an American.
You shouldn't be able to get into a college or get a job based off just the color of your skin. If we're going and we have a 4.0 GPA, we're going to the same slot. We're going whatever. We're both applying to the same colleges. But you're going to get in just because of the color of your skin.
We already got rid of affirmative
But that's
action.
what I'm saying, though. The whole DEI thing, though. That's what I'm trying
It was
to get
a
at.
But the
remnant, like an
DEI
appendix.
But the DEI was never. So here's the thing:
It wasn't
is that
supposed to be that
but
way.
even with affirmative action, right? Out of the people that actually, if you talk about black people, only 7% of black people benefited from affirmative
I'm not
action.
just talking about black people.
No,
talking
I'm
about
just saying.
in
But
general.
if you were talking about me being a black female
Right.
and him being a black male, only 7% of us. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not hesitating. I know you're a black male.
You said you were
are
gonna
affirmative.
white
Well, it's
face
because
it.
you're Republican. That makes you less of a black male.
You
Oh,
said
I'm
you were going
racist.
to white
That's
face
right.
it.
You're a
Yeah.
white supremacist.
I'm a
You're a
white
white
supremacist.
supremacist out there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Got
Yeah.
your sheet in the car, huh?
Yeah.
So
Comforter.
no, but I'm just saying that it was like I think the latest statistics was 33% white females actually benefited from affirmative action, and then as you go down into the various other categories, it just gets lower. So you can't say that it was for blacks, and then those institutional places of learning. They were there because of the simple fact that the only way for a black American to gain land, even though that they were born on this land and they fought for this land and they were enslaved in this land, the only way for them to actually gain land was through those land grants that were given
Right.
to establish those colleges.
Right. You're right.
And so, I mean, that was the only way, because other than that, you go talk about redlining. Now, this is the stuff that, okay, y'all might call, what's that thing y'all like to call critical race theory?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Crazy racist theory.
The crazy racist theory.
That's right.
However, this is not crazy racist theory. This is just basic history. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. But we don't teach it
the
anymore.
government, yes, because of the simple fact that a lot of people do not believe in systemic racism. And the reason why it's systemic is because it was something that was built in the legislation.
Yes.
Which is why I particularly do not celebrate Juneteenth, because of the simple fact that by the time Juneteenth actually happened, so by the time they got to
cancel
Galveston,
you.
okay, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment were already ratified.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means? Slavery was legal. So all you had to do as an American was make it illegal for someone to do an act of anything, which is why during Reconstruction, you have the birth of a lynching era, because everything became illegal for the colored.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say black. I'm going to just say colored.
Yeah, because technically I'm not black.
He colored.
I be
He a
seriously
Negro.
saying it like,
I'm colored because when I'm cold, I'm blue. When I
Yeah,
get burned,
like-
I'm red.
like, because I be thinking about it. Like,
If
seriously.
you're not Pastor Josh, you colored.
Any place I go in this world, with my skin color, I'm not black until I come here. I'm taught in school that the color of my skin is brown on a piece of paper and a crayon, but on me it's black. And we bought into the foolishness.
Do they still have the
we
flesh
don't-
colored crayon?
And we don't teach our children
Yeah, I think
that
it's your
they can't be
color. Yeah, it's
friends. My best friend of 30 years is black, and I'm not saying that because everybody's like, oh God, a black person. No, what I'm saying is we.
I got a lot of black friends.
She went to 71st.
I went to 70.
What?
We were friends not just because of the color of our skin. We were friends.
You're
because-
friends for the substance.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It didn't matter. We don't teach. Well, I don't. I don't know about other people. I don't teach my child to be mean to somebody just because they're different than them.
I like Bree.
I don't think it's about
He wear
being mean
cornrows.
to somebody because they're
He's
different
not-
than them. It's just about how things are carried and how things are portrayed. And it's not even you. It's because of legislation.
Well,
Yeah.
as always, an entertaining discussion on the cabinet. And with that, we will
I'm
be
coming
right
in
back.
cornrows next week.
Have another cup of coffee and get fired up with the Carolina Cabinet, Eastern North Carolina's smartest conservative morning talk show. Free thinking, hard hitting, truth telling. You're listening to the Carolina Cabinet, Eastern North Carolina's answer to the radical left. Liberal media's blah, blah, blah. Welcome back to local conservative talk radio.
And welcome back to the Carolina Cabinet. I'm Peter Pappas with a full cabinet of silly, silly women that we just fed and you can't do anything with.
No, he
Oh
said
my
blah,
God.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
It is the blah, blah, blah.
The blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a lot of that going around the CCGOP
That's
this
why
week.
that's why we're laughing.
Okay, well, Carrie, I think, had a quote for us, unless she's still Googling.
I'm still Googling.
Okay, she's still Googling. So, this last half of the show, we are going to speak some hyper-local topics. Bree and Heather and myself have been making some explainer videos that you can find on my my former campaign YouTube channel and also on Facebook and other channels. Basically, we have a board, an executive board. So imagine a big company. And they have a chairman and a CEO, and they have a treasurer and a secretary. But they're running roughshod, and they are not reporting finances. They're not taking minutes of meetings. They are not executing the charges of their offices. What would you do? Fire them? Would you give them another term?
I mean, if
Oh,
you're
no, I'd lock them up.
if you're the Biden administration, you would reward them.
I'd
Well,
lock 'em
and some of them are using Democratic tactics by smearing. So, for the record, again, Bree, Heather, and myself are not running for any board position in the Cumberland County GOP, but we all are registered Republicans.
neither.
We are all invested. Everybody, well, let's see. Myself, Heather, and Bishop have
I
run
paid
for
my
office.
dues.
You have put your name on a ballot, and you have still been vilified for being a black Republican in Cumberland County, and you still have not found a welcoming nurturing area for Black conservatives.
I found it here. I found
And
it
the resource
here.
center too.
And at the resource center, but at the CCGOP, nope. And it, I'm not surprised.
Well, you made some pretty serious allegations. I mean, you
What'd
were
I
talking
say?
about, you called them racist, straight up.
And
And one of the comments was, "Oh, you're using the Democratic playbook. Everything's racist." Which,
no. And anyone who knows me knows that I don't use the race card at all. It's just not something that comes out of my mouth. But when I see it, I'm going to call it out. And I didn't call the entire board racist. I said many of them, and whoever you put in that many of them category is who you stick in that category.
well, I also think if the shoe fits,
Yeah.
and a few of them might feel
And
guilty.
if your feet stink, wash them. It is what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of washing needs to take
It
place.
is what it is. Because when you look at,
Hey,
even when you look
Jesus
at,
washed feet.
huh?
Jesus washed
They don't
feet.
know Jesus.
That's right.
Here-
They don't.
Listen, even when you look at how,
Don't tell them that.
even when you look at how out of everybody that's running for a board seat, you got what, 2 slates running. You got Simone Pemberton.
Maybe three.
Maybe 3. We ain't gonna talk about the third
So,
one.
for the people listening, a slate is just an arrangement of people that have been suggested and selected to be the chairman, the vice chair,
Exactly.
the treasurer, secretary. So there's 2 sets of people that have already
Exactly.
announced, "Hey,
Yeah,
we're
2
running for
teams
these
that
offices."
say, hey,
And
we
it's
wanna
not
run
the
it.
3 of us. We are not
Yes,
on either
we're
one
not
of these
on either
slates.
one
And
of the
I'm not
slates.
on a slate either.
So stop saying
But-
that. I'm trying to lead the GOP.
I find it very, very. I find it interesting.
Fire the uniparty.
How out of everybody that's on the slate, they target Simone Pemberton, the only Black person on the slate.
Between the 2 slates.
Between the 2 slates,
Yeah.
the only one, and they target her and her alone.
It's merit based.
Well, Simone got married. She's smart.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what, and I'm gonna just say it. I said it the other day, and I say it again. Freddie Dela Cruz, his wife, his daughter, all of them. I think they're extremely racist. I think it's very racist to say I got the Black vote locked up. So I'm gonna say what I say because I ain't running for nothing. But if I was, I still ain't scared of these jokers. I think some of them jokers is just outright racist, and the stuff that they do is just outright racist. And I don't want to hear, "Oh, I let Black people ride in my limos, and I let them
I got
use
Black
my club,
friends."
and I got Black friends." I don't care about that. That's the most racist statement ever made. I got Black friends. Who cares?
No, but isn't that kind of the
I got gay friends.
Isn't
I'm
that,
like, we
isn't
gay.
that the kind of the siren call of the racist to claim that they have a bunch
I
of
got
friends?
a bunch of Black friends. I know Carrie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And what's your point?
next to her.
Like, what's your point? But and they're mad.
But Carrie really ain't Black though.
No, she not. You more Black than Carrie.
I know.
Here comes that 71st again.
All right. Well,
But when you look at
don't let
it,
my ancestors come get you.
oh, I thought she said a bad word. I thought she said, "Let my A come get
No,
you."
it was so funny. I was telling my sister. So my dad was commenting on your video to me the other day, and he's talking about how he didn't agree with some of this stuff.
Monetize my stuff.
And so I was basically defending him because I was like, look, Dad, I was like,
monetized.
there in the city of 300,000 plus people, you got 40,000 registered Republicans. There's no way we're going to have any seat if we don't cross the line and make it purple. We can't be red if we're not purple first.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm explaining this to like my father, and I'm telling my sister this, and I was like, I'm so sick of these old white racist people. And Amanda goes, "You're white." My sister, Amanda goes, "You're white." I said, I got 12%. What are you talking about?
Way more than Pocahontas ever
She
had.
said, "But he does too. Where'd you think you got it from?" I was like, "Whatever."
So I do want to bring up a number that you did mention. So in the process of responding to people in the last 24 hours, I did just go back and check my math. So we do have 49,000
49,000, okay.
Republicans, but we have between Democrats and unaffiliated in Cumberland County about 150,000.
Yeah.
So we Republican GOP is outnumbered 3-1. So it is a phallic
This is why
argument.
we're a blue county.
You know
It's
what?
a phallic argument to think that you're going to go red, red, red. You got to go through. It's the attack of the primary colors. Okay, you can't go from blue to red without going through purple.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work with people that do not look, think, and act like you, or share the same background.
Didn't we learn that in kindergarten? How you? Just,
I thought we
Well,
did.
see, no. Well,
Well,
the
some of
thing
the
is
people
that
that's
some
arguing-
people did not actually learn that.
Well, some of the people
ahead.
arguing with us right now, though, I think refer to the 8th grade as my senior year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lord
Okay.
knows that gentleman on Nina Slate said if you're a
Chairwoman?
Republican,
Yes.
if you're a Republican and you wish this county to go purple, that you are not worthy, you should be shunned, and you are not a true Republican. I was
And
like, are you kidding?
is
I think
he the-
most Republicans in
Well,
this
isn't he
county
the
would
re-
like to go purple.
Well,
Who's
so I
the
think here's
registrar of who a good Republican is, though? Like, where do you go register to take the Republican test?
So here, I'm sorry. I know I'm a
Go ahead,
quiet
Karen.
voice.
Go
I'm a
ahead,
quiet
Karen. I gotta
voice to
turn
you
her
guys
off,
out here. I'm a quiet voice to you guys out here, right? However, I believe what has been, and this is why I say fire the uniparty almost all the time, because what's been misplaced is a Republican equals conservative, and that is not true.
Absolutely, that is so not true.
Okay?
You've got Democrats.
A Republican does not equal conservative.
Absolutely.
Well, we don't
And
have a
then
lock
even
on
if
being conservative.
They
What-
they
I
do
think
not
you
have a
mean.
lock on being conservative. And actually, so a while back I was watching Apple TV, and they had this show.
They are not a sponsor of this show.
They are not a sponsor of the show.
Yeah.
But they have this show, and it's about
They wouldn't sponsor
Lincoln.
this show.
It's about the Lincoln assassination, pretty much, right? And then after that, I put a post on Facebook, and I said, "Which Confederate are you? Which conservative are you? Are you an Abraham Lincoln conservative? Are you a Frederick Douglass conservative? Or are you a Andrew Jackson conservative? Or are you a Jefferson Davis conservative?"
Can I be a Peter conservative?
And nobody
Or are you
probably
J.
could answer
Antoine Miner
that.
conservative?
No,
Right.
but if you could, if we're gonna look at our founding, like some of our founding fathers or some of our historic makers that helped birth this nation, then let me know what type of conservative are you. Because see, and this is one of the reasons why I'm against all the whole statues and renaming and all this stuff. If you guys go back and look on my post, I will tell you, please do not rename or take down anything, because I want to see it. Personally, because of the simple fact that I want to know if you fly true and blue crossing bars, you a Confederate to the day you die, then I want to know that. Okay, I want to know if you have those crosses that resemble Nazi symbolism or anything having to do with white supremacy. I want to know that,
So
because
you think
I want to
removing
know
these things has driven it underground? So now we can't.
because it makes it think that it gives you the illusion that it
Right.
doesn't exist.
Right.
When you know that it does. When that's how the nation was birthed. Like I wish I could say our nation was birthed under different circumstances, but that is something that is inwoven in the actual fabric of our nation. So, and it's something that it's on the blood that was on those stripes, that wave. It's on that blood.
Well, when you talk about history too, and we bring this up, especially if we're talking about Nazi Germany and Hitler, and everyone wants to compare Trump to Hitler.
What a bunch of idiots.
Exactly. Like if you studied, but they don't, because they don't teach it anymore. And you studied World War II,
Hitler
and you
was
studied
socialist.
Hitler,
Very much
and you
socialist.
studied like his hatred of just the Jews themselves, and and I get it, whatever. I'm not even going into that part of it, but you cannot compare. It baffles my mind that they would equate him, because they don't like him, to compare him to Hitler, who killed 6,000 Jews.
I understand that,
6
but
million.
like at the
Sorry,
same time,
6 million.
And two clowns.
at the same time, I can't
cares
say
about
to a
Nobody
person,
yeah.
I can't. That's like me telling somebody, oh well, Peter is so nice because he gives black people subs, and he works. A majority
Thank
of
you,
his
Peter.
of his workforce is DEI or could qualify for some DEI initiative. You know what I'm saying? So he has a kind heart and everything. However, I cannot tell that to the person that probably they are the descendant of Medgar Evers, and they're going to look at.
Well, just because
Do
they
you
make-
understand what I'm saying?
Just because they
like
do
I
one-
can't.
I'ma
If
get
they
in
see
trouble,
it,
Karen.
I know you're going to get in trouble, but I'm just saying.
When do you not
if
get in
they
trouble?
see it, if they see it, the actions that someone may have, and they perceive it as that, I cannot speak for somebody
let me-
else's.
That doesn't
actions.
make the full person. You don't know
It
if I'm
doesn't
giving
make the-
away,
it
if
doesn't
I'm
make the
feeding
full
somebody,
person.
but then I go down the street and kick a
It
dog.
does.
You don't know
It does
that.
not make the full person. But y'all know that.
Well, as long as you
my
put it on
issues
social
with-
media, though, it makes you
Listen,
Um,
at the end
heroic.
of the day,
We'll put it out.
At the end of the day, I don't care who your great granddaddy was. You was never a slave. You ain't never experienced slavery. You ain't never picked cotton. Shut up. Stop. Get out that victim mentality, because that is exactly why black people are stuck where they are, because we play that victim card all the time. Oh, my great granddaddy was a slave, and if he saw what you had become, he would be highly offended
Mr.
and disgusted. And I know us is gonna get upset. But listen, get over it. Listen, ain't no. Listen,
Slavery is not an issue with me. Slavery is not an issue with me.
Here's what racism is to me. Because now, do I believe that people are racist? Yes, they are. I'm gonna see some of them at the convention. They're going to be up on the stage. A bunch of them. They're going to be on the stage.
Probably like
but
seven.
I don't allow their
on both
racism
parties. On all parties.
On all parties.
All parties.
But I don't allow their racism to define me, nor do I dwell in that bubble of woe is me. And that's where a lot of black people find themselves stuck because we mad because they changing the name of Liberty back to Bragg. Who cares?
No, we ain't mad.
I'm happy about it.
I'm happy about it.
I'm happy about it. People mad about the market house. Who cares? Y'all still down there taking wedding photos
and setting it on fire.
I mean, like, who cares? At this point, you got to move on, get over it, and if you want to get out of that systemic racism, it's systemic racism because it's embedded in the system. We are the system now. Like, we had a whole, I think he was black president, Obama. I don't know if he was black or not. Mostly. They say if you got one drop.
Yeah.
12%.
Yeah. I
told
you, if you ain't Pastor Josh, you black.
Like, in Fayetteville, you got a black mayor. Just about black city council, black sheriff, black city attorney, black city manager, black county
manager too.
You got all these black people, and we still talk about
it's not about the figureheads that you have. It still goes back to the legislation. If nobody is making legislative changes,
what legislation we got here in Fayetteville?
Okay, what about this? Let me just ask this. Okay, if it is in fact systemic, then doesn't that mean you know the system, so you know how to play it?
I mean,
why don't you play it to your advantage?
At this point in time, and something that has been actually articulated from all of the activist leaders that have gone before us is that it's not about being a part of the system. It's about creating your own system.
Well, that ain't going to fly.
But
because
we're
a country of 300 million people. We can't have 300 million different systems.
I mean,
we can't create our own system now because most of the kids in Cumberland County can't count.
But I agree with Peter because my dad used to say, growing up, me being a blonde chick,
You was blonde?
Yeah. I'm gray now.
I was getting ready to say, I don't see no blonde.
But growing up,
just from the neck down.
My dad always said, play the dumb blonde role. People will take you more seriously if you play dumb blonde than if you speak and people realize that you're intelligent. And
how's that working out for you?
Heather, you real smart.
Well, Peter,
you real smart, Heather. Like, I mean, I kind of understand what your dad was saying,
but it's true.
And sometimes people will, when they know that they'll play with you more. They'll try to dumb you down. But if they think you don't know, then they include you and stuff. I do it sometimes. I make people think that I really don't know, and I be sitting there nodding and like, oh, for real, really? And the whole time in my head I'm saying, yeah, I knew that, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk and say it. But when we talk about changing a system, the system is rigged. First of all, here's the problem that I have with that statement, and I'm gonna just use the term black. I'm as black as they come. No, I've seen some darker than me, but I'm
You're about a quarter past
you're a
midnight.
white system is functioning the way it's supposed that it was founded.
Now, how was it founded?
It was founded to function the way that it was founded.
But how is it found? How is it functioning? Because we are thriving in that system. Was that system designed for us to thrive?
We have made changes. We have made changes in order to thrive in the system. And
but then is the system then functioning the way it was created? If we've made changes, we've altered that system.
Yeah, fixed and addressed issues.
We have altered it to a degree.
We've altered it to a degree.
That we can survive.
But because we've altered it, watch this.
Yes,
because we've altered it, we can no longer say it is the same system because we've changed the system. We've changed the game. So at that point, that's when you got to be quiet and say, whatever system we got right now is the new system
But we don't have that system anymore.
Which system?
like the system is being deconstructed and going back to the system that was
All
I don't
previously
think so.
created.
Can we get back to a base system here? I'm lost. I totally. You
I
guys.
don't think we're going, because then that would say that we're going back to a
This is like
system
Kamala
that
Harris
is-
word salad, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
What the hell are we talking
When
about?
Carrie started saying earlier that what used to be,
I'm
thought she was-
unburdened by what has been.
That's
and
what I
I'm
thought she
done.
was
Oh my
saying.
gosh.
I'm unburdened
Oh
by
my
what
goodness.
has been.
Is that true?
I am unburdened.
But
I swear
that's
to
what she
God.
said. So are we still burdened by what has been? Because if we keep blaming the system, then we are actually still burdened by what has been. We don't become unburdened by what has been until we recognize that the system that was in place does not exist anymore. Yes, they are individual. It's like viruses in the computer. You don't throw out the entire hard drive because there's a virus. You fix it, you drive out the virus, you find where the infection is, and you drive that out. We get stuck in, oh, I got a virus, throw out the whole computer. And wonder why we get nowhere. Because the system can't be that rigged, because outside of me, there are millions of black and brown people who are thriving in this system. And we are not using sneaky tactics. We're not undercutting. We're not doing none of that shicey stuff. We just work it. The system works if you work the system and if you are educated on how the system works. And that's where a lot of black people get in trouble. They're not educated on the system that is in place. And so because I don't want to be educated on the system, just throw the whole system out and start all over. Do you know how long it will take to start a whole system?
I don't
Jesus coming back before then.
I don't think they want to actually
mean,
throw away
especially
the
when
whole
when the
system.
rivers are
I
turning
think that
red.
I think that we have learned how to work in and out of the system, and because of that.
And
like,
that's
that
why
is
we got people selling their
That
kids
is why
for
you
food
have.
stamps.
But here's the thing: is that
You can
that
sell
is
your
why
kids
you
for
now
food
have the
stamps?
conversation that you're having about the GOP is because of the simple fact that you are starting to see that there's still.
No, we've been so it can't.
Okay, well, if you've been saw it, then you
But here's
knew that
something,
this was coming.
and y'all,
You've been new,
my
like you've
lighter
been new. So
pigmentation,
you
brothers.
you can't say that it doesn't. It's not there, and it's not something that you have to continuously face.
Here's what I said the other day on my live. The Republican Party was made for me. It was created for us. And
Like FUBU?
huh?
Like FUBU.
You gonna be fat, ugly, black, and uncomfortable?
Yeah, it was created.
For us, by us.
It was created. It was created for us until they assassinated.
Yeah, but it's still
Until they assassinated people.
It is. Listen, if we can take a dirty word like the N word and reimagine it and say it belongs to us, then why can't we take anything else and say, you know what, this is ours?
Yeah, but according to TikTok, I am, because I eat the same foods.
You what?
Because I can go to the cookout.
Okay, you've had one test that said 12%. Sit down, hasty pudding. Good Lord.
I told you, if you ain't Pastor Josh with his 99.9998%.
Y'all are damn
just
man.
saying.
I swear to God. So we got about 8 minutes left. So let's not talk about raping the system anymore.
I'm gonna say that we need to go back to Pastor Josh. I've mentioned Pastor Josh a couple of times.
Yes, you have.
And you know what the awesome thing is, as we were tagging in and tagging out, right? I'd asked him what his good word was, and he said that his good word was 1 Peter 2:9, that we are a chosen priesthood, that we are a chosen nation, a royal priesthood, right? And I was like, oh wow, that's so awesome, because the pastor at my mom's church had that same exact message on Sunday. So I was like, oh wow. So that's what we were tag teaming about, the excitement on how that's just God's confirmation
Absolutely.
on that we are a chosen nation and a royal priesthood.
Who?
God's chosen people.
Because all these jokers ain't chosen by
No,
God. I'm just
everybody
gonna tell
is
the
not
truth.
chosen by God.
Everybody who go to church ain't chosen by God.
That's
And
correct.
Somebody listen.
And
That scripture was to a specific people.
it was to a specific people.
And if we're gonna be a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a peculiar people, a holy nation, we're gonna be all that. We're gonna have to believe it. That we
Yes.
and black people have got to get to that place where we start believing that that's who we are. Because all we have, especially on the left, all we have are individuals and leaders who just lead us back to what has been, and then tell us to be unbothered by it.
Yep.
And it is ridiculous, and so, in getting back to what we're talking about, the Cumberland County GOP, it is an absolute fallacy. It is asinine. It is stupid to think that you will ever turn this county red without it going purple. Purple is what you need to be shooting for.
Purple is the color of royalty.
Exactly. And
Purple is also the color of joint. So
It's
like if you
actually
look
the
at
color of
joint
my
forces,
tartan.
if you look at the joint forces in the military, that color is synonymous
I
with
like the color purple.
Hey, the color
Yeah.
purple is very powerful.
till you do right by me.
My tartan is purple.
And
We
so
need to start sporting some purple shirts and
We
some
are.
purple
So-
attire.
Yeah,
And
if
so
you're
what I
going to
was-
the convention, make sure you wear purple.
And so
Because it's a
what I was
Republican.
gonna say though, to caveat that,
Come
because I
on,
know
Carrie.
that our time is rounding up, and I know Bishop, you can finish this out.
we gotta
with
take
like
it
a
home,
shout,
man. Come
right?
on.
If I say anything else,
Okay.
y'all gonna take up an offering.
Is that once we have identified ourselves as the chosen nation and the royal priesthood, then God also says that if my people who are called by my name
humble themselves.
will humble themselves and pray and seek His face,
Mm-hmm.
He
And
will
turn from their
and
wicked
turn
ways.
from their wicked ways.
I will restore the name.
That means,
He
sir,
will-
take that dress off. That's what that means. That's what that means. That means close them legs. That's what that means. I mean, come on here.
He will-
That's what it
he
means.
will-
If
he
my
will
people,
hear.
which are called by my name, will humble themselves, pray, seek my face, and don't leave that last part out, and turn from their wicked, then will I hear from heaven.
Yes.
Then I will forgive their sin, and then I will heal their land. So, Scripture is
ahead.
specific.
Okay,
It's specific. We listen.
Specific.
Yeah, and you talk about
Not
turning.
Pacific.
And you're
Don't
talking
talk
about,
about my mama.
and you're talking about turning. Repentance. You have to repent. You have
And
to
what
repent.
is repent though? Repent means to change
I
the way you
screwed up,
think.
God. I am so sorry. I don't want to be this way
And then
anymore.
don't do it again.
So
Please come and change my
apologize.
heart.
We know you're sorry. Just apologize.
Well, when you
But
do
the
that,
first
even
thing-
It's more than just
but not just
apologizing.
apologize. The word repent.
You have to humble
means
yourself
literally to change
to
the way
change
you
your
think.
ways. Yes.
Yes.
And so us's need to change the way we think. And if we're gonna ever flip this county purple and see more conservatives and Republicans
Or unity.
unity, you're gonna have to change the way you
Yeah, I
think.
hate that word,
There is
though. I
no
hate
other
unity.
way to do it.
Okay. We're just
All right.
having all kinds. This is where the cool kids come to hang out on Sunday morning.
Ooh,
I have to say.
cool
Smartest
kids.
I guess.
hour on
So,
radio.
Miss
So,
Carrie,
Hey,
if you
are-
didn't go to
I
church
love you
this
guys.
morning, you've got a little bit today. You
got
got
a
the
little
word.
church in
You
there.
got a little bit.
Yeah.
so
And you can send my offering to Cash App.
Oh my God.
Antoine
better
Miner.
nobody bless his cash app.
Wait, are you are you really a bishop?
I am
Are
an
you-
archbishop.
Are you sure?
I am.
Are you-
That's what they told me when I got my paperwork.
I mean, I'm just going by the Facebook post. If you were really a bishop,
Who gives you papers? Papers like
I know
Russian
you were
papers.
ordained. I'm
diocese-
just saying.
Russian?
Who gives you papers?
Oh, you
Did he
gotta
say
go through
Russians?
I thought he said
Like
Russian.
I thought
I
only
thought he
Russians
said
had
Russians,
papers.
too.
Show me your papers.
That was the
I'm legal.
Nazis.
You legal?
I am. Let me tell you, I am fully vested. So just in case anybody who doesn't know what that means I have met every criteria and qualification
Are you
to
not-
not just be a bishop in the Lord's church, but to also be an appointed archbishop. So I am. When I say fully vested, I mean fully vested. So
Okay. Well, Miss Carrie J, you gonna take off?
I am going to take
I
off,
hate,
and I
you know.
actually am going to say, again, fire the uniparty.
Atta girl.
Okay.
We love you, Miss Carrie
All y'all
J.
people out there.
fire them all.
Oh, but Laura's coming in. Come on,
Yeah,
Laura.
oh, she's coming in.
We got a
she's
whole
coming
black
in an
panel.
extra
Yeah,
segment.
we got.
yeah.
Oh, you got a
something
whole nother segment?
We're gonna go ahead into some overtime. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
You got to have
Nope.
a percentage to be.
I think, you know what, to balance this out, I think that's why I'm one less brown that's going to have to, leave out.
She's light brown.
It's too much
like
black in here. It's getting hot.
I hope you guys join us on the YouTube and see that who we are in this room, because I'm a little concerned now what people on the radio are thinking about. Like, it's like, oh
Hey,
my
we're fun.
goodness.
We're all conservatives,
Yeah.
and we all
We're all
believe in the
conservatives. We
Constitution.
all love our community and our country,
Absolutely.
And our
and
Jesus.
And we don't
we're
like
all
stupidity.
kingdom-minded folks. I think so. Even
Oh, you're
Jim over
right.
here in the corner.
You're kingdom minded too.
I try to be.
He's not kingdom minded.
Kingdom
He
of
needs
Saudi
to be
Arabia.
kingdom minded.
Well, yeah, I didn't say which kingdom. Hey. Why you give me those looks? I can feel your stare over
Good.
here.
That's
glad.
just
Okay, it's a whole thing going on over here.
It's a lot of
Okay.
heat.
Well, it's been great, guys.
Yep.
all right.
All right, Miss Carrie. Well, we will see you next week, hopefully.
Next week, hopefully.
Okay.
Be unburdened.
Yeah.
Be
Be
unburdened
unburdened
by
by
what
what
has
has
been.
been. Yes, please
Yes,
do.
I am
Be
unburdened.
unburdened.
I'm not burdened.
You're not burdened any longer.
Hey, let me know when the next feeding is with Carl.
Okay.
It's every like once a month, isn't it?
It
Or has
is,
he
but
changed?
it's been changing from like the first to like either the first Sunday or the
That's the
second
lunch on
Sunday.
us.
Yeah.
The lunch on us. So
I
yeah,
gotta come out there. I need some
we'll let you know.
flip-flops.
I want to get back
You
involved.
need some
again.
flip flop sauce.
I saw it in Food Line.
It is in Food Lion. There's actually
Tell them we
various-
shouted them out. We want our money.
All right, y'all.
All right.
I don't know what to do to get y'all to stop, so I'll just play some
Oh my
music.
gosh.
So, my dear cabinet, our 60 minutes is up for the radio anyway. So join us for our podcast at thecarolinacabinet.com for more overtime. And I want to say thank you to my on-air cabinet members, Bishop
right.
J. Antoine Miner.
Hey,
I'm usually
glory.
going right to Pastor Josh on this
Glory.
one, so sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Carrie J., thank you for joining us. Bree Eldridge and Heather Holmes, Pistol Packing Mama, thank you. And our guest producer, Jim. Just
Yeah,
give
you
us a
do.
wave, Jim.
Hey,
Let
Jim.
everybody know you're here. So, he's here.
Oh,
So,
Jim.
to our audience, I hope
Phenomena.
you'll do us a favor. Phenomenon. So- Listen, to our audience, people listening at home, I hope you do us a favor and take time this week to visit one of our commercial sponsors and let them know you heard their message right here on the Carolina Cabinet. If you do somehow miss an episode of our top-rated show,
top
X-rated.
rated.
you can find us on your favorite podcast broadcaster, Apple, Spotify, Google, or Audible. We're kind of everywhere.
Google.
Look for us online at thecarolinacabinet.com. You can find all our videos and links.
Wakanda?
Thanks again for tuning in this
Forever.
morning. Until next time, we are...
The Carolina Cabinet.
I'm J. Antoine Miner.
Welcome back to this special programming from the Carolina Cabinet, North Carolina's smartest show on the radio.
And we're back with the Carolina Cabinet. I'm Peter Pappas. I'm in studio with Bishop Antoine
Here.
Miner,
Here.
and being joined now by Ms. Laura Mussler. Nice to see you again, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Always a pleasure to be seen.
Better be seen, not heard. No. And Bree Eldridge is in studio with us, as well as Heather Holmes, Pistol Packing Mama, and our guest producer, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Give us a wave, Jim.
Jim.
Hello.
Mana.
Hey, Jim.
Mana- Okay, yes. Yes.
Mana.
Do, 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 do.
Mana.
Oh,
Oh
always
my
a good
God, we
time.
can't help ourselves.
It's always a good time in the cabinet. What can I say? So,
You know why I do that, right? Because of his real name.
his real name,
His real name?
Manad.
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 Manam.
Manad.
That's
You
his.
racist.
I am.
I just can't pronounce.
Yeah.
Manam.
I went to New York City public
Jim, you ever see
schools.
the Muppet Show? Like in the 80s? Yeah, okay. Okay.
Manam. I'd be like, what's up, Manamana?
So, having a good time. We've had one so far, but we're here for a purpose this morning. And we have some
Are we
really
singing
big
the
issues in Cumberland County with our Cumberland County GOP board. They're up for election March 8th from 8 a.m. to 12 is our GOP Republican convention for Cumberland County at Freedom Christian Center. Registrations from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. You have to bring $10 cash and a photo ID.
Why does it have to be cash?
We like cash. What you got against cash?
No, I ain't got no. I just think, is it that they don't trust my credit?
No, I don't think they actually
No,
have
they
a-
don't have access to run a credit card app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, you could write a
This
check.
is
Okay,
2025.
let's back up. Our own chairwoman has a hard time with email. So let's not challenge her with a Wi-Fi based credit card
God,
terminal.
we don't need her to have anybody's credit card information.
I don't.
Are we gonna have electricity at convention? I mean,
Yeah.
this is.
We're going to
Stone
even
Age.
have water.
Oh my.
We're gonna have duck donuts and coffee and water, I guess.
Yeah,
but
water. They always have
it should
water.
be a good time. But please come out if
And
you are a registered
bring a fla-
Republican.
if I were you, I'd bring a flask.
well,
I was thinking, yeah, some bourbon, maybe.
if you are a registered Republican in Cumberland County, if you come to this convention, you have a vote, and you can help us to vote to install a new board of directors, essentially, for your party. Because myself and Bree and Heather have been making a few explainer videos in the last week or so to discuss how our current board has failed us and continues to fail us. And frankly, there is money that cannot be accounted for. We're hoping at convention that we
of
get
money.
a treasury report. But
How much?
well, in my calculation and speaking with other board members that have left, I'm thinking we're over $50,000 of total money that was in the accounts.
But money's been spent
the-
on events
right,
and
but
things like
the-
that. We don't have any. We can't.
But the
save.
rumor is like it's $200 left.
Nobody knows because
and we can only go on rumors because no one will give us a Treasury report to account
So
for.
Show me the money.
we have to not judge until we get to convention and see the report.
So do we listen and not judge?
We listen, we keep an open mind, and we don't judge until convention and
God,
we see the
sound
actual
like,
reports.
You sound like my attorney. Keep an open mind.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Always charged, never convicted.
I closed my mind.
Well,
Somebody stole the money.
Well, the other thing you can look at, anytime you
Embezzlement
have somebody who's elected and they're running for re-election, what do you always do? You look at their record.
Yes.
You look at what they've done, how they performed. Did they listen to their constituents? It's going to be the same way with this one. So we have the chair, she's running for re-election. We need to look at this board's record. And they're upset that we're talking about it. And so
we're not
gonna
accusing
bring things
anybody.
up.
We're just bringing it up. And the videos that you and I made, we are a little lively, especially me with my colorful language, but I am overlaying these videos with what the kids call receipts. Okay, so if I mention that we're supposed to have 4 meetings a year by the plan of organization, I put the plan of organization on screen.
Yeah, but we're not also accusing too because we're going by what finance reports what was submitted, and there's just so much misinformation. There's double chart. I mean, it's ridiculous to even try to go through.
Well, I think the Board of Elections is a month into auditing it,
Yes.
and they can't make heads or tails of what's been turned in. So
I mean, there's receipts that are just missing, and they probably will never turn up again. I mean, and then they want to threaten, lawsuits or threaten going to the feds, the FTC, and
Who
the
going to the
FBI.
feds?
Well, my question
I don't
would
know.
be,
Whoever is an anonymous commenter.
well, they're going to know the FBI pretty good after we get done with
How you
them.
gonna call the police on yourself?
I'm gonna call Cash Patel and be like, "Hey."
well, my question would be, is if they're being audited and we get fined from the North Carolina GOP, who pays that fine? Are we, as the GOP, responsible? Because we're the
county
executive
GOP.
committee.
We need to
Shouldn't
make a
it be-
distinction.
GOP
Shouldn't
has
it
to
be
pay
the
it.
people that have been not maintaining the books
Whose money
appropriately?
was it to begin with? It was this money that we got
Shouldn't
from
they go to
hold on.
prison?
Did we get the money from the federal government? Did we get it from national GOP? Or did we have to earn it, volunteer, and
We had to earn it.
raise it
Volunteer.
here? So this is every registered Republican's right to know what's happening with this money because it belongs to the party.
It's all of us.
Let's
What I'm
ask-
saying is we're going to be fined.
Yeah.
Because of the violations. If there are violations, I'm not saying that there are, but if there are violations, who pays that fine?
According to Bree, it would be the actual
the
county
board.
GOP. But if they don't have any money in the account to pay it,
They need to
Then-
get shackled up.
then who? I told y'all we need
So
a
we have to do
Doge.
fundraisers in order to
I ain't
raise
doing
money.
no fundraising
To get us
for
out
them.
of the hole.
To
Who's,
get us
but
out
who's
of the
going to want to
hole.
give us money though? If they find out
it's been mismanaged.
Yeah, who's going to want to
Shouldn't
give
it-
us more money?
Shouldn't the actual board members themselves be individually
Held liable for that?
I mean,
I
we
think-
probably
Can they, Bree?
we probably could sue them honestly.
Well, I think
don't-
what you would need to do is
I don't
change
know.
our plan of organization to where when you swear in a board member that they have to have a fiduciary duty and they have to agree to accepting it.
I would like that.
So,
I think
I
that
mean,
would-
maybe
I mean,
that's something we raise at convention.
Once the state looks at all these reports from the last year, it takes a while for the assessments to come out. I mean, it probably won't hit until like August or September. But we already know that the third quarter reports were late, so that's a max $1,000 fine there. And then just quickly glancing at some of the transactions, I saw another fine possible of $760, and I mean, it's just in the fourth quarter. I looked at the report real quick, maybe a couple minutes or whatever, and it's a hot mess. If they don't fix it, there's more fines coming.
Well, you should have called a CPA, Bree.
I should have.
well,
Hey, wait a
Darn
minute.
it.
Aren't you ACB?
I know. God. Let me can consult
I got a
myself.
question though, because they gonna be up on that stage and asking for votes for their slate. Are they? Can we say like, hey, before you call that vote, explain to us where the money went? Like, we don't want to vote yet. We want to know what
that is a
happened
good question.
to
Do
the
we
money.
do party business before we vote?
Yes.
How does that? So we're going to have a meeting.
Vote is at the very end.
Very end.
Very
Okay,
end.
so
Good.
they do have a business meeting.
but the thing is we're not even probably we may not even get this report until convention. We may not even get it at convention if they're not done with it.
Yeah.
So how are we going to be able to? That's my question too. We're going to vote on the slate, but we still don't have records of this.
Do we have to vote on a slate? Can't we?
Can you vote
I
individuals?
mean, the convention.
That's what we're
That's
we're
it.
trying to suggest is individual.
What is that, like an open slate where you have?
Then you just say, okay, just like we did at the state convention. First thing we did is we voted on chair. That was all
That's
separate.
what I'm for.
Then the next thing
Me
we did
too.
was voted on vice chair. That was all separate.
Let's do individual.
So
you can have a
So
slate.
someone needs to raise that as make a motion
It
from the
depends
floor.
on what. When you get to convention, you'll see what the rules are. The rules will say this is how we vote. If it says by slate, somebody has to make a motion. Say, hey, I want to vote by individual seat.
Well, John Tyson and Henry Tyson both want individual votes. They don't want
I don't like
slates.
throwing people's names out there, though, if they haven't made it.
Well, last
publicly
year
known.
there was people that made that motion and
I
it was
did.
struck
I was
down.
the one.
Okay, so
Oh,
you did
there we
it.
go.
Okay, well,
I
he,
was
he can
one
edit
victim.
it out then.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we don't. I don't edit.
We don't. We
So
don't
then,
redact.
so
we
then,
don't redact. We don't block. We invite everybody to
Yeah.
listen. And
So
if you're
then-
listening right now,
All
you
I said was
inept
they.
idiots,
I was
we
just,
love you.
I was just saying
If
that.
Henry and Don are for that, then
That's
Yeah.
all I was
Yeah.
saying. That,
So
yeah.
once somebody makes a motion and seconds it,
Mm-hmm.
the
We
chair will say, hey, is there any discussion? You may advocate why I want to do this.
I'm going to say
Then-
Laura Mussler for chair.
They put a vote
Laura Mussler's not interested.
put a
Chair.
vote.
Thank you.
to the convention floor, and who are delegates is 50% your majority rule. Then the convention decides. It doesn't have to be
Because
one.
I would rather take all day to get the right person for each position than just vote
I
a
agree.
slate.
I completely
Yeah.
Because
agree.
the whole
Yeah.
point of being a leader is taking in personalities that you may not always agree with and hearing the other side. That's what a leader does, is takes in, I don't care if you like me or not, but let's work together if we're
Well,
working
that is a
towards
glaring
common-
difference between those slates. So you have the one slate that calls themselves Team Cumberland, which is putting themselves off as the GOP of Cumberland County, and they are not. That's the current board of directors, essentially. But all of the people on their board, several of them are unknowns to us, and we're all politically active in this community. But furthermore, they're all little supplicants to the chairwoman.
Is everybody on that board a Republican?
I don't know them, so I can't judge
Well,
them.
I can tell you that
think
all
so.
they do is circle the wagons and protect and defend something they shouldn't be defending. But the other slate,
Based on your opinion.
my opinion, the
Okay.
proof's in the pudding. You can see. So the other slate running, and again, we are not on any one of these slates.
Yeah, nobody in here is running.
But
We're
the
just
other
discussing
slate
this.
has people that can work together that are from different backgrounds and are more diverse. And the leader is willing to be a leader and have other smarter people
Yeah.
in the room
Unless
than him.
you
Jim, you want to be on my
agree with
slate?
her.
We're gonna run a slate, me and Jim. It's gonna be the slate of us.
You need to, surround yourself with some talent, and not just, people that are just going to nod and agree with everything you say, because not one person has always the best ideas.
But as a leader, you have to be smart enough to understand that you need to surround yourself with talent.
Absolutely.
When you think that you're the smartest thing on the totem pole, and when you don't feel like anyone can say anything to you, you are a horrible leader. And I'm gonna just say it. That's what we have currently on the Cumberland County GOP. We have a board.
We have a dictator.
We have listen and
That's insulting to dictators.
I know. I'm
the
sorry.
current GOP chair,
I'm
and I'll
sorry,
be at
Cuba
convention.
and North
So
Korea.
if anybody don't like what I'm saying, I'll be at convention. I'll pull a table up in the corner. We can sit down and have a
Are we going
conversation.
to hit the table?
I'm gonna hit the table if I have to, but the current GOP board and some of them I love, some of them I love, like Judy Hawkins and stuff. I love Judy.
She's a sweetheart.
She's a sweetheart.
Absolutely.
But she's on the board, and I believe that the current board is incompetent. Just period. Incompetent based on what we're seeing, based on the lack of transparency, the lack of documentation, the lack of forthcomingness, the lack of finances that we can track. Just incompetent. We saw it during the elections when we didn't have poll workers at the polls. We saw it all. Listen, just incompetent. They did not do what they are supposed to do. They are not following the plan of organization. And at some point, you just got to call a spade a spade.
Hold on.
You
We
do have
didn't
to-
have poll workers?
Wait a minute. Hold on just
I
a
mean,
second.
they
Go
have
ahead.
all that
Let Laura in.
secrets.
Let Laura in.
We did have the board admit to getting poll observers inside, which was actually breaking the law.
Yeah.
So we actually have a board that admitted to breaking the law because they didn't get it in on time. The Board of Elections voted and said, no, we could not have Republicans inside. And on Facebook, on several spots, they said that they got people
They
inside,
managed to
They're
sneak
like,
them
we
in.
snuck
Yeah.
them
which
in, yay!
is
Illegal.
breaking
Yeah.
the law.
Which can get the people that work for Board of Elections fired.
Absolutely.
Those precinct judges that run those polling sites, when they let them in,
They broke the law.
I could say my
Yeah.
precinct, but I'm not. I'll be nice because I don't want that
What
person.
precinct you in?
I'm not going to do
Oh.
that to that person because.
we
Look
don't
it
rem-
up.
We
can
don't
look it-
remember.
But yeah, you can look up my voter registration. Like it's
This is a
I don't
safe
know.
space. You
At the
can say
Let's
it.
XCOM meeting,
Lake Rim?
Our chair was bragging about getting people in.
So,
like, what
but
are you
I'm trying to
doing?
get back to the poll observers because that was the first video that we put out was the lack of poll observers.
And I was at the polls
but
on election
apparently
day.
we don't know what we're talking about.
I was at the polls on election day. I went to multiple polling sites. I went to Massey Hill. I went to Judson Vander. I went a couple other places, and there were no poll observers there from the GOP at all. At one point, I even called Bree because we were having a problem at Massey Hill where they were kicking people out and telling people they couldn't even use the bathroom. And we had nobody out there. Peter came down there with his campaign. Henry Tyson had his campaign down there. I was out there. It was a mess.
Yes.
It was an absolute mess. I don't care what Nina and them say. I'm going to call them by name because they know I don't care. I don't care what they say. They failed to do their due diligence as a board for this county's GOP. I don't want to hear pointing, well, it was like this in every other county. I don't live in every other county. I live in Cumberland County. So this is the county I'm concerned about. And at the end of the day, as my daughter say, at the end of the day going to end. It is what it is. And they failed to do what they were supposed to do as a board. And at this point, I think giving them another term is saying that, job well done. You didn't do a good job. You got to go.
They're like, it's like Hunter Biden.
Yes. We want to see Nina's laptop.
She probably got videos of
No
cocaine
preemptive pardons
and,
here.
and hookers.
I think they lost the password to the laptop. I know they lost the password to the online banking. They had to go get it a couple times.
Passwords can be unlocked. Take it to Staples. They got the Geek Squad. And all the rest
No,
of it.
that's Best Buy, not
Same
Staples.
thing. Staples unlock stuff. They be fixing viruses and stuff. Take it down there. They'll get it open. I know somebody you pay $5, they'll get it open for you.
We got a tech guy right here, Mr.
Where they at? They over off the mark?
Mr. Num Num.
Money do.
I was close.
So, all right, Laura, you came in to hang out with us. So
She wanted to talk.
What's your take on everything? What's going on with you? I hadn't seen you in like weeks. So
Because I've backed
Catch me
away.
up.
Because every
Why?
time I look on Facebook, I see my name being dragged, and I'm like, I'm not
Who
commenting
dragging
on
your
anything.
name? Girl, don't make me pull up.
I'm
You
not
know who dragging her name.
I'm not commenting on
The
anything.
person that's
I
got
have
the black
backed
vote.
away. I'm trying to.
you have been
just-
unrealistically quiet. That is
but now-
uncharacteristically
Yes.
quiet. Yeah.
And now I'm at the point where I'm ready to stand up for myself. And if anybody who judges me before they've actually met me, interacted with me, or heard my side of the story, then you're just as ignorant as the other people that are on the board, in my opinion. Not all the members of the board are ignorant. I apologize if I offend anybody. I love me some Judy Hawkins. She is the
She's the grandma
the
of the
bees
board.
knees,
I love
that's
her.
right.
She's a shining
That's
gem in the
exactly
middle
right.
of a
And she
horse
just happened to be
manure.
caught in the middle of
It's
this.
funny because you
She
were
got caught
talking
up in
about
it.
the poll watchers, the people outside. So the first day we had the resource center had people that were at the polls, but we didn't have any tents. So here's where the purple tent and the red tent and me pulling the tent
The
down
tan
comes
tent
up.
and all this
We
other-
didn't have enough tents to
Yeah,
go to
my
all
gold
8
tent.
locations. So Bree and I went to the GOP headquarters and said we would like to check out tents. And Nina was nice enough for a second and said, take all the tents you want. So we're like, okay. So we loaded up and we were going to go put all the red tents out at all the locations because we had people out there without cover. Then she said, you can each have one and only one. And you're responsible for them. So okay, so we put the other tents back. I took one and Bree took one. I took mine out to Cliffdale Road. There was nobody there from the GOP, but we put Leonard underneath the red tent. Now
Leonard Bryant running for state house.
That's correct.
Okay.
So we put
Under
Leonard
a
Bryant.
red tent.
It was a red tent. That's correct. We didn't have 8 tents. So I said, well, let's go online and order more. The purple ones are on sale. And I said, my son's favorite color, who was killed in almost 10 years ago, his favorite color was purple. So let's get the purple ones because, you know, I mean,
These were
in
just
honor
all
of my
personal
son.
tents.
Plus, we were late to the table.
Right,
So-
but they were on sale. They were
We
our
were
personal
scrambling.
tents. It was in honor of my son, who my motorcycle is purple, just to let you know. But anyway, so I got a purple tent, and we got the 2 that we had borrowed from the GOP. So lo and behold, Leonard comes and is like, I can't even get underneath our tent. They've got flags flying, Trump flags flying everywhere or whatever, and the Democrats won't even speak to me and give me the opportunity to speak to them because all this Trump stuff is around. So I said, well, I'm responsible for that tent, and if the person that I got the tent for can't even use the tent, I'm going to go take it back and return it to the GOP. Let them put it back out there. So I go there to take the tent down, and all hell breaks loose, and I'm a horrible person, and I'm not a Trumpster and all this other stuff. No, it's not that I'm not a Trumpster. Oh,
Oh,
by the
wait,
way,
is that when you punched a baby and whatever
I
else?
didn't punch
I
a
mean,
baby.
is that-
They said the baby was under the tent. The baby was not actually under the tent. It was off to the side.
A lot
but
of
that's
allegations
beside the point.
flying out there. So
Yes.
let's back up
But
for a
I'm here
second,
to
though.
clear this
You're
all
talking
up.
about the Cliffdale Road early voting site.
Correct.
Which
Yeah.
is a very heavily trafficked
Yeah,
early
that
voting
is
site.
And it's hostile.
But
Yeah.
what's the percentage of Bishop's people to my people's out there?
Wait. A racist would say.
Yeah. I'm trying to be nice
I
about
feel
it.
so ostracized.
It's a heavy blue
is.
area.
It's a blue-
Okay,
It is.
let's
It's
just
very
let's call it what it is. It's
And
like 70.
it's
I think
probably
it's like 4 to 1.
75% Democrats vote there.
Four, like
versus
yeah,
25.
4 to
And it
1
gets
or 3 to
volatile
1.
out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
Hostile.
sure does.
It does.
Sure
That's where isn't
somebody
that-
said they were going to their car to get a gun.
Yes.
So
Ugh.
please.
Yes. So it is volatile, but it is definitely a very heavily minority and Democrat run or used precinct.
Yep.
So, the red tent, Leonard was right. Leonard's trying to reach across party lines and get a vote because it don't matter who votes for you as long as they give you the vote. Red or blue.
Yeah.
You need blue votes to win in this county.
You're going to have
You're just
And
going to need to.
60%
it was
of his voters voted out of
right.
Cliffdale.
And it was contrary to the message he's trying to discuss to have a red tent, number one, but then to have everything MAGA shoved down these people's throats.
They were like vendors at a Trump rally.
For somebody that's been on the military, don't they call that situational awareness? I mean, I just say read the room, dummy.
Read the room.
And see, when me and Heather and others ran, I think, Bree, you were the chair at that time, and we even said that being out there with all of the Republican stuff was killing our votes because the minute they saw you were a Republican,
They shut down.
They shut down. They don't care if you're black, white, whatever. They don't want to talk to you. And so we even said it had to be another strategy. You cannot come hot and heavy with all the Trump stuff, and then like the guy said on the post the other day, we would have did better if we rode Trump's coattail. I don't ride coattails.
Well, here's my question too. They're all up in arms over the color of a tent. Like the whole thing is for a tent. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with voting. Literally, the color of a tent they are harping on.
And-
like, why? Next time, let's just go get some freaking paint and paint the shit rainbow.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
edit
no.
that out.
But I will
We got
say
a bishop
that for
in the
all
room.
of
Just
these-
forgive her.
All
Let's
of
move
these
on.
people that are underneath this tent with all this Trump gear. Does anybody know in this room who was the first person to finish the
Oh,
Trump
I do.
Captain 47?
Would that be you?
Oh my gosh, that was me. The person that they were calling the anti-Trumper.
Wait
I
a minute.
finished.
I
Trump
know
How
you
could that
beat
be? Because
me.
you and I and Bree founded the Republican Candidate Resource Center, and we're definitely not Republicans.
yeah.
They can't be.
Because we want to turn a blue county purple.
Yeah.
But when I saw in the
yeah.
post about when they I saw some, I forget what his name was. His name not important either.
It don't matter.
Can I ask
He
how
was
many
talking
board
about-
members are Trump captains?
See, now you're starting.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
there you go.
How many of the board members are Trump captains and
It would
finished?
be
How many of-
0.
Wait a minute. No, they're Trumpsters.
Oh my God!
Oh, but
None of
they
them were-
didn't
I
even
saw
do
in
the
that
basics.
post that was put out, and I didn't know about the purple tent. I was wondering why they kept referencing when you see the people under the purple tent. I thought they were just being funny. Like, this is some real stupidity.
This is some real. In one of the comments that I posted that I had to take down because I posted it under the club and she doesn't want me to do it.
Should
But
have sent it to me out of post.
I actually said
I'll post it.
I actually said you need to take an IQ test. Your lack of intelligence is showing.
I just
And-
told
and
somebody
still,
the other day that he had
it's
the brain
just
of
a
one
tent.
rooster.
Yeah.
It's a
or something.
I mean, and
Yeah.
I like I said, I was excited because it was purple was on sale. That was my son's favorite color. So everything
Just a
that's why
personal
when I
tent.
ran for office, I had purple.
Just
in my
don't get a
sign.
white
So
tent.
if we get a rainbow tent now, will
Sure.
we appeal to everybody?
I'm not
no.
standing under rainbow.
Well, the thing is, why on earth
Why not?
did
It's
we
a-
have
it's
to
a
go
promise of God.
scramble
He's
for
never gonna flood the
tents?
earth again.
We had a purple
Praise
tent,
God.
we had a tan tent, but the simple fact is we were scrambling for tents because we didn't have a bunch of red tents on.
And we didn't have poll observers
Yeah,
out there
on
putting the
inventory.
tents
Because the GOP in Cumberland County failed to do their due diligence
And
and make
poll
sure
service,
that
poll
this
watch,
stuff was available.
Yeah.
Because there were poll workers out there. I mean, they were.
If all
voting.
those
They were
tents
they
had been
working the
set
polls?
I see.
No, I think they were at secrets that day because they weren't working the voting polls.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, if all those tents,
And that's
red
why we're
tents that
broke,
put
because
up-
they didn't make no money down
But
there
that
either.
was the reference. All of this reference to the tents and the me taking the tent down because I was responsible for that tent. I wanted to return it where I got it from.
Well, yeah,
so
Mommy
that
Dearest
I-
made sure you
right.
were
They just showed
responsible.
up and said, "We're taking this over. We don't care if you checked it out or not." We're
You know what I've
taking it.
noticed?
It's our
Though?
tent.
You know what I noticed about them too? They want to talk about how red and Republican they are, but they always want to deflect. They don't want to talk about the real issues. They don't want to talk about the campaign finance report. They don't want to talk about no poll observers. They don't want
They
to.
don't
they
wanna be
wanna talk-
accountable.
I know they want
wanna
to
talk
talk
about
about
the
a
issues.
purple tent.
Yeah.
And name call. And
Are
I'm
we
like,
gonna have
really?
purple tents at convention?
We're wearing
From
purple.
now on.
No, we're wearing purple.
Please, anyone listening coming to convention, I want you to wear purple to the convention.
Now, can independents come to convention?
No.
They can't.
They can come
You have to-
register as a Republican and then attend
Yeah.
as a guest.
But they can't attend. They
They
just
can
have to
come if they
register.
pay the $10 and register
Yeah, 'cause
Republican.
wasn't it Mario
Yeah.
who came a couple years ago
Yeah,
and
cause all that chaos.
caused all that mess?
So if you're independent and you want to be a Republican, come down to convention in your purple shirt with your $10. And matter of fact, bring 15, 5 for me.
He's gonna have an
I thought you only
offering
had,
plate.
wait a minute. I thought you only had
We'll
to
be- we'll
tie
be passing
10%.
We'll be
So
passing out
Nah.
purple shirts, purple hat.
Yeah.
Pass them all out.
Actually,
Come
you
see
know what?
Captain
That's not a
America.
bad idea. Maybe you should order some stuff and sell it at the RC.
you better check with the FTC and see if we can order purple shirts.
Oh yeah, because the $25,000 you supposedly spent.
Yeah, they can all shampoo my nether
But
regions
that's
with
great.
that. So.
Yes, y'all
Oh,
should order
my
purple stuff and
Lord.
sell it at the RC for convention.
I just think
So-
it's
I think
just
y'all
think
are
it's ridiculous.
instigators.
I
That's
think,
the pot stirrer over there.
My middle
What do
name
you
is
think?
Trouble.
Hey, what do you think about doing a cabinet show from the convention? You think
You
they
know
would lose
what?
their mind?
Yes.
Because I'm able to do it with this stuff.
But see, the only thing is, I don't think they would
Might have to
allow
get with-
because they like what if I'm not mistaken, Bree, when they're doing party business,
Yeah,
they
I
don't
don't
want
like
that
that.
public.
Right.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to do a show from there.
You could. You could do
Unless
it.
you
You could
just
do
did
it
You
before.
do it out in the lobby, maybe.
But you could do it
Yeah.
before the party business. You
Yeah.
could
Well,
still
you could.
broadcast it and.
But
and
You
then-
could you could broadcast going into the convention. How are you feeling today? Asking people questions and things like that. Get some man on the street
we
stuff
can do
done.
that.
This is a man on the street. Get some interviews. Say, hey, who you voting today? Or
Love your
What you
purple.
what you looking for today?
Yep.
What do you-
Let's
what
see
do
how
you-
many people we can
What
get
are you
in
hoping
purple.
to see
I'm
today?
dyeing my hair purple.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I think I have to
Yeah.
order something purple. I don't think I have anything
Have
purple.
any
We
on
should get
top or
purple
just have your
wigs.
beard?
Yeah. No, ain't nothing
Let's
up
do
there. I'm
it.
gonna dye this purple.
Okay.
Or I'm gonna order
I
me
have
a
a purple
wig.
suit, so
You have a purple suit? Mm-hmm. You can
Well,
look
I
like
should
Barney.
order me a purple dress.
I had like
We're being very
I
princess.
ended up getting 14 suits because I went to court every day and wore purple for my son during his court case. So I have a ton of purple suits. And if
So I can
somebody's
borrow
nice,
one?
You absolutely may.
We can win.
She was like, Prince, just step aside. I'm coming. Watch this. You think
That,
you
that
got
should be
purple
that
feet.
should be our theme song.
Purple rain. Purple rain.
Has anybody told you guys you sing really well?
Yeah.
They lied.
This is why I had to get an education, kids. I can't make a living as a singer or a dancer.
All right. So
Like,
before we're coming up on about almost a half an hour here. So what else has been going on the last week or two that really caught your eye, or that we need to discuss about this convention coming up? Because it just seems
Nothing
to be
about the convention, but there is something else I want to address.
okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The pillows.
The pillows.
So for those of you listening that don't know, Laura had
Hold on.
personal items.
Let me preface. Let me.
Okay,
let
go
me,
ahead.
Let me
Go
preface
ahead.
it. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
We
Okay.
had two
I know
key
what you're
holders that were a House representative and a standing senator that were paying for that GOP building.
Well,
Okay?
that's 5 people, including
5
them,
people, but-
paid $2,600
Okay,
each
correct.
out of their campaign money to have the Cumberland County GOP have an office.
Okay.
Take it from there.
And
So
the
they were
two,
subleasing
and the
office.
two locals,
Yes.
the two locals that are representing Cumberland County had keys. They were key holders. Okay, we were working. I was working Simone's campaign, and one of the key holders was like, gave me a key and said, "Here, like, use this. Use my office for whatever you need. I'm paying for it. Please use it." At the time, Laura was on our campaign working for us, and then I'll take it. Let her tell her side of the story.
And I was approached by one of the people there. Said, Laura, I've seen your house. I like the way you decorate. Would you do me a favor and decorate a room to make it nice for people that come in? I said, sure. So I went out and I bought a bunch of very expensive stuff, but chairs, tables, things for the walls or whatever to decorate the office. And lo and behold,
It's stuff that you wouldn't find in their trailers at home. but go on.
Oh my goodness, I'm not going to say that.
I did.
Okay, but anyway, so I bought this very nice stuff, and I brought it over there, and I went to set it up, and I was told that Nina didn't like any of it, to get rid of it. And I will give Venus a bonus. She said, Laura has great taste, and that's really nice stuff. Give her the opportunity. I have text messages from Nina telling me to get my stuff out of there. She didn't want it. Get my stuff out there. I don't like confrontation. So I just avoided. But lo and behold, I got because I was working on the campaign, I got a key and I said, hey, Bree, will you help me move this stuff so that I can stop hearing from Nina about getting
Sunday,
my stuff?
wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was a
I
Sunday.
said,
Yes.
So nobody was
absolutely. I'll
around.
be right
Nobody
there.
was around because, again, I don't want I get nervous. My
And we
stomach.
had permission to use that building whenever we wanted to use it.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. So we went in there, we got our stuff. So then they had an event, and I came to the event, and they started. Now there's not just GOP people there. There's other people that I don't even know that are coming through the office or whatever, and they corner me in the office, and they're like, "Where is your stuff? Somebody broke in here." And I'm like, I will say that lying by omission is a lie. So I do say that I was just like, I don't know. I was just trying to deflect because I don't want.
Now, that was the night after our human relations meeting, was it not?
I think so, yes.
Okay, so I was there when they
Right.
started screaming at you, and I actually walked out to the front because then they continue. But I
Right,
do want
but
to.
they're all there in my face going, who was in here? I'm like, I don't know, because number one,
I mean,
this
talking
isn't
about
the place.
bullying.
But they
Right.
knew. They knew. They had cameras.
They already knew that I had been in there. And did I lie by omission? 100%. Did I straight up lie? No, I did
Were
not.
you obligated to tell them the truth?
Well,
I don't think
just
so.
as a
No.
moral person, I
You
think
weren't.
I was.
Don't corner us. I mean, we have a bunch of other people.
So
Right.
basically, they were dressing her down. I remember she was in. There was a small room off to the back of the hallway to the left. Bruce Sykes was standing facing out to the door. He was on the other side of the wall, and there were two or
It
three
was
ladies in there.
Juanita and Venus and
Yes.
yeah, and they're all
They got
questioning me.
very nasty with her. I mean, so to the
a
point
very
where I
mean
was
girl
I
coming
was
at
up
ya.
front and I heard them screaming, and I walked back there.
Like, who do they think they are? Like,
But that's
I'm
what
really
saying.
trying to figure this thing
I don't
out.
want to deal with this, so I'm like
Yeah.
just
That's
deflecting.
saying
Like,
anything.
I
I'm
just
not
want to
talking to
leave.
you.
I don't. So I walk out to the
Yeah.
front. Venus follows me out there. We could proceed to have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation outside. But I don't do the whole screaming at each other type
Yeah.
stuff.
But it
And-
seems to be acceptable on that board. They tend to scream at each other a
But
lot.
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is given a toolbox, and some people don't know what to do with their toolbox or don't have the tools to communicate like grown adults, and that's just the way they communicate. I don't deal well
They
in
threw
those
their
situations.
toolbox overboard a long time ago.
Right. But yeah.
That's why the screws are loose.
So lo and behold, later on,
Wheels on the bus
Yeah,
go.
but I mean, and mind you, also I was on the board itself.
At
She
that
was.
time.
You were
At
the
that time.
treasurer.
So now I'm on the board. I'm working with campaigns. I'm going to get my belongings out of the building. And so then they send me this. They tried to charge me or something with it,
No,
saying that I
they filed a police report, a
filed
false
police
police
report.
report
saying that I
for
stole
breaking
pillows.
and entering,
Right.
and we pulled it.
But there were pillows on my chairs.
Nina, y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
So I took my
then
chairs
they
and what I
lied.
thought were my pillows. But and they're saying that there are some volunteers' pillows. Okay, I'll give you the pillows. I can
Who
care
wants
less.
the pillow?
They do.
Where are my pillows?
Bunch of pillow biters.
that I bought
They just
and
want
put there.
something to complain about.
Exactly.
So you bought pillows.
I bought chairs, pillows, tables, wall decorations, and I went and took everything.
Is anybody still listening? I mean, seriously, is this
No,
not the
but
most mundane,
it is.
crazy
I mean, yeah,
crap
It
you've
is,
heard of?
but they lied and said that they had pressed charges against
Right.
Laura. So Laura, bless her heart, and I mean this
They
sincerely,
press
not.
charges against you?
No, they didn't. They
I was
lied.
hysterically crying. by
She
the
was
way.
seriously upset. She called me. She was really upset. She went to the mattress office to see if she could get them to, because the police department wouldn't tell her anything. So she went down to the mattress office and was like, "Look, if I have charges, I'm gonna turn myself in right now." And she's calling me on the phone, and she's like, "If you don't hear from me in 30 minutes, come get me." I'm calling Bree and
Yeah.
Shamika. We're like,
We were
"They
on our
gotta
way."
go to jail. Bail Laura out. We don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna get her
So,
out."
okay, everybody step back for a minute. Think about all this for a second. That was 1 day, 1 hour of what time and energy these people wasted with
Starting this
people
crap.
that were trying to volunteer and put their time in to further the cause of GOP Cumberland County. So you pile that onto not making reports, not having poll observers in the precincts the day of election. What else do you want to say that they
Illegally
didn't do?
remove
They
I mean,
called
But
the
as,
cops.
as they go online and continually
and then
bring up my
blocking
name
people
and
and-
blocking us
yeah.
from Facebook,
And
we're
call
on
the
the
cops.
executive committee. We and the executive committee have oversight over the board. First of all, a political website, according to the Supreme Court, you're not supposed to block anybody from the from the political website.
How much time they spent censoring other Republicans, and So I made a
because
post Sunday,
didn't
tagged the
somebody-
If they keep
CCGOP,
staying in
and
their
by the
echo
time
chamber.
an hour later, they had untagged me or whatever and blocked me.
Yeah, but
Wow.
didn't somebody comment on the YouTube video too and say that they were blocked?
Yes. There are others.
Yeah, there are others. They're just not
Yeah.
speaking out now until we're speaking out. But to go back to it, because of that, they called an emergency board, executive board meeting or whatever for Laura, basically to get her removed from the board. And we all show up in force as support. And then they called the cops, and Diane Wheatley and Tom McGinnis were there. They called the cops on them with all of us, and the cops roll up, and I'm like,
Is that the meeting where Freddie was
the mayor.
Yeah.
was the mayor, and
Yes.
they thought it was Mitch Colvin?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the meeting. Yes, because I walked up to the officer and I was like, let me guess. They called for a disturbance. He said, how'd you know?
They are disturbed.
So he sat there and said, I'm just going to hang out for a minute or
Well,
two.
and then they closed the meeting, so only one version was told.
And thank God we had somebody
so let's
represent
back
Laura.
up. So we all showed up to support Laura at that meeting, and then as soon as they gavelled like to be in business, they went to a closed session, and we all had to be ejected, including the elected officials, McInnes and Wheatley. They're elected Republican officials. They should never be
It should be
excluded
fully
from
transparent.
a
There's
committee
no reason
meeting.
that meeting could not
No.
have been transparent.
They wanted to,
They wanted to alienate me and make me feel alone, which they did, and that's fine because they don't want me on the board. No problem. The whole thing is that they didn't even have to do that. I was going to resign anyway because it's too stressful dealing with people that yell and scream. And anytime I offered any assistance or ideas, that I've gone to the Leadership Institute in Virginia and graduated from the Campaign Leadership College, by the way,
So we took all our good ideas.
and took all of them. Every time I gave them a good idea, I got an eye roll and a no, we're not doing that or whatever. And that's fine. You don't have to take my ideas. I'm not perfect or
It
whatever.
wasn't
But
that they weren't good ideas; they were just coming from you.
Yeah.
that's
they
exactly
don't-
right.
When you
They
tell
don't-
me your ideas, I'm like,
Yeah.
holy crap, I've never thought about
Well,
that.
and
Let's
re-
do
But
that.
did the
I'm like,
idea of the
"Mom."
resource center cause other counties to now want a copy?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, yes, I have helped other counties and given them ideas, and they've called me for things like that. And I feel bad because I'm helping other counties where I could be helping. Because let me say for a moment, in all of the Nina bashing, Nina did a great job. Now, mostly because of Trump getting people out there, getting precinct chairs. And she does have the heart for it. She wants to do a good job. She really, really does. Again, she just doesn't have the toolbox.
She doesn't
in order
have
to be-
leadership.
So she
That's
has
right.
she
But
has the heart to do it, but not the intellect.
Correct. She would.
She doesn't have the
she's a
compassion either.
Great, no,
Now,
she
now,
does-
you do know that she called our show divisive and biased. She declined her invitation to come on the show, so she was invited to come and appear.
She
you
came
and-
in my Facebook Live and
Yeah.
I told her, I said, I'll be very respectful. I'll
Yes.
give you the floor. I won't say anything. And if anything that is being said is untrue, come out and speak your piece. She avoided coming on.
But
And
Bishop-
Nina, if Nina could get over her control issues,
Yeah.
she would be.
Well, and-
she could probably learn some
But the
great
thing,
leadership
Bishop, the
and,
thing
and
with
do
me
a good
and you
job in
and
the
with
future.
Laura too, she wouldn't want to come on because she has traditionally shoo-shooed the media away. Even in City View, if you go back and look at some time she's been interviewed, she doesn't do anything but spout party line. And when she does, I think they sent her a questionnaire with 3 questions, and I think she answered one of them. And the only one she answered was like, "Yeah, we're really glad Trump won," but nothing about the local party.
And she wondered
So
why she can't get,
always poo-poos the attention because she doesn't want her attitude and her vitriolic self shown.
because if she talks more than 2 minutes.
Yep.
The lack of intellectual and
Well,
listen,
and-
I don't have an issue
Everything
with
you
Nina
ask her is an attack.
personally. I just think that as they DEI, I just can't get away from it. And when I say DEI, what I mean is, I don't think that when they were elected to the board, that merit was taken into consideration. It was, hey, we want to do some great
She
things.
was so pissed off at our slate that she had to go form her own. She could not stand the fact.
Was it because of me and
Yes.
you, or was it because we had?
It was because
we
of
had-
you.
We had black people on it.
I was about to ask the same thing. How many black people on her
We
slate?
had 3 black
Three?
people
No,
on our
on her slate.
None.
Zero.
Zero.
How many black people on her slate now?
Zero.
None.
And
Zero.
the one black person that's running on the other slate, her people on her slate are trying to rip Simone Pemberton into shreds because they don't. And I must say it because I don't care. They don't want black people in charge in the Cumberland County. That's why they were so mad with Shamika. They were mad at Bree and everything else, because when you had Bree and Shamika and what was the other one? Susan Chapman and stuff. This GOP ran smoothly. Now, we had our hiccups and stuff, and I complained about stuff. But when I did, and I called Bree, said, Bree, I don't like this. It was, hey, let's meet, let's talk. Okay, how can we? I think we sat down one day for like almost 3 hours at lunch discussing how do we fix this? What do? We need to do some outreach. We need to get out the community. We need to do, okay, let's do it. And then those things started happening. But what you got with this board, you literally have and again, I'm not talking about everybody on the board, but if you're on the board, you're gonna fall in here by default. You have intellectually inept individuals who are in leadership on this board, and it's not about. To me, it's more about the power that comes with it. They just want to have power.
That's all it
because
is.
they can't get, when you have 12 people
that quit.
who quit the board. During your tenure on the board,
What does that say about
an
you?
it says that
board quitting.
that's an entire board in essence that has quit.
And if you were really in your right mind, I'm not being funny. I'm really being serious. If you were really in your right mind and you're seriously watching all this happen, you're hearing people complain, you're watching people drop off. I know if it was me and I was in that position, I would gladly step aside, because obviously there's something lacking.
And the common denominator is you.
And the common denominator is me.
I would step aside, or I would do a serious self-dive, figure out what's going on, sit down with these individuals, look at what the complaints are, and
What
see
can
how
we
we
do?
mitigate this stuff. And if I feel I can't mitigate it, then the proper thing as a leader to do is to say, you know what, let somebody else do it. Because
Yes.
one thing
Yeah,
I
but
know...
do you think that the current board has the capacity
not at all.
mentally to do a self-reflection?
No.
There you
No,
go.
That's
Then
why
they'd have to
that's why
admit.
they deflect.
That they have to admit
Everybody
that
makes
something-
mistakes, though,
Yeah.
and that's part of the thing. One of the disputes that we had with Nina, you made a mistake. Oops.
Own
Holy
it.
smokes,
Move on.
I screwed up. Like I said, when I took the pillows that didn't belong to me, well, one are my pillows. I made a mistake. If you want the pillows back, then give me mine.
Damn,
no
these
problem.
pillows, man.
You know what I mean? But and did I make a mistake by not owning up to it in front of everybody and allowing the scene to be made? No, I screwed up. I screw up.
But
I'm
that's-
human. I make
exactly.
mistakes.
But see, that's the difference between you and her. You literally came on and said, yes, okay, I lied by admission. That was wrong. I'm sorry. She would never, ever in a million
will
years
never
say that I screwed up.
apologize for anything she does or says, and she's insulted and she's been rude and disrespectful and unprofessional.
And
Loses
then
her cool.
cries when someone comes at her.
Or locks herself in the office.
But never apologizes for her behavior.
have that video.
People have told me that when they were in this meeting, they said it's just toxic. And if the head of your team is toxic,
Well, the whole reason Bruce Sykes resigned from the board was because he said he was going to create a slate, and she got mad at him and booted him. Well, or he left, but still.
Well, they illegally removed me as a precinct chair. 'Cause
Yeah.
I got the emails and the paperwork that showed where Nina herself said to me, "It is confirmed. You are the precinct chair for Judson Vander." I show up to an executive meeting, and I'm told by Jackie Taylor I can't sign on that thing because I'm not a precinct chair. I'm like, well, when did this happen? Who voted for this? Oh, this person over here is the new precinct chair for Judson Vander. When did that happen? Can somebody say illegal?
She tried to do the same thing to me. There was a person in my precinct that she called and said, would you please be precinct chair? And she said, well, Laura's the precinct chair, so no. And she's like, well, we don't want her as precinct chair. So
Who's
we want
we?
to. I don't know. Maybe she
In
has a
her
mouse.
mind?
In her
She's got a
pocket.
mouse in
I
her
don't know.
pocket.
Yeah, I mean, you
I don't
cannot,
know.
and that's
But
that's
that
the
person
thing.
actually
You,
stood up and said that's against the
you
plan of
cannot
organization.
make
I'm not
unilateral
going to do that.
decisions
no, thank
on
you.
a board that should be run with Robert's rules, taking notes, taking treasury
They have a plan
reports.
of organization.
There is a plan of
that's
organization
exactly
that
why
guides their
technically
decisions.
I'm still on the board.
Can we talk about the precinct chair meeting they had the other day that we weren't invited to?
Yeah,
We got left off, and we're
Go
precinct
ahead.
Was
chairs.
that the one at Chick-fil-A? Where they had Chick-fil-A?
I don't know. Was it a Chick-fil-A?
I don't know. I don't. wasn't
Or
told
Olive
what
Garden?
was- I wasn't. No.
That's precinct
That was the
appreciation day.
precinct
We
appreciation.
know.
Oh, by the way, I'm a precinct
We
chair
know.
too. I didn't get that
And
invitation
worked
either.
early
Me
that
either.
day.
Me either.
You
But
want
there
some?
was
You
a
want
s-
some crappy Olive Garden? I'll take you to Olive Garden.
Let's go eat.
I'll
I'm
let you
hungry.
superfly the
Big
baby.
girl got to eat.
But here's the
I
thing.
am. I
Here's
just
the
got done
thing.
eating your subs.
Here's the
I'm
thing
like,
that I
don't
think
know.
everyone who's listening and watching needs to understand. We do not hate the Republican Party.
We love our party.
love
we
our
love
party.
the Republican Party.
If we
Listen,
didn't love
I'm
it,
a
we
black
wouldn't be here
Republican.
standing up for it.
Exactly.
But at some point, the thought process with a lot of Republicans is, oh, you can't say anything, just tote the party line and hush, and it'll work itself out, and let's just sit over here on Facebook.
The hell with that.
No, we're in an era where you got to just call
a spade a spade.
It's a new system. When we're not the old GOP that sits around and just lets bygones be by. No, we're going to call you on your stuff. We're going to call you on the carpet. And as a leader, it's an occupational hazard. You have to be willing to be called on that carpet. You can't say, oh, they're not real Republicans. Actually, what makes us real Republicans is the fact that we are not willing to sit there and just toe the line and sit in the corner. We are going to call you on your stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, is Trump a real Republican? Because he called everybody out.
Here's my question. I'm going to be sexist against
we do have freedom of speech.
I'm be sexist against me.
I thought you said you're going to be sexy.
Please do.
Go ahead. I'm going to be sexy. They're lucky that they even have a woman as a chairwoman, to be honest with you. If we really want to go back to the old standard white politics of a bunch of men running everything.
With all due respect, it hasn't worked out very well for us. So
but if you when we had our Tea Party last year, I was explaining the history of the Tea Party, and the whole reason the high tea or afternoon tea came about was for women to get together to discuss politics because they couldn't be in politics. Mm-hmm. They were getting together to have tea.
Why don't y'all get together and try to calm her down? Have some tea.
I was told.
You got a straitjacket?
Yeah.
I was told.
I'm sure I can find some restraints or something around.
I was told that the only reason.
That's TMI.
Peter, let's pray. I was told.
You better be a purple straitjacket.
Heather.
It's got bedazzling.
Don't.
Are they fur-lined?
Of course.
I was told that I should be happy that I was even allowed in the room. That's what I was told. I was told that I should be happy that I was even allowed in the room.
Because you're short?
Because I'm black.
Oh, shoot.
That's okay. They didn't even recognize my Hispanic background.
They
told me I was white. So.
Oh, that's right.
You're white presenting individual. That's what you are. You're white presenting.
My kids
individual.
are Mexican.
Are they?
No.
Call them little burrito, little Mexi melts. Okay.
Niña and niños.
You just said JJ was a frog. How can he be Mexican?
I don't know.
Froggle.
Shouldn't he be like a gecko or something?
You call my son a gecko?
You called him a frog.
Okay. So what else do we need to? So we discussed the pillows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And anybody that has any questions, if you want to make a decision about me or judge me or whatever, feel free. But at least have the.
But none of this is even supposed about you. Like, you're
No,
not running
but
for
the
a
thing
slave.
is- the thing
They
is-
keep saying my name on
Yeah,
Facebook.
they keep invoking your name.
It's the way they deflect.
People that I don't even know
Exactly.
are mentioning me. So if
Yeah.
you have something against me, feel free. Let's sit down and have lunch and talk about
It's
what
the
the
way
issues are.
It's just the way they deflect, Laura.
Well,
they
I
don't
don't
want
like
the
that.
attention
If I have
on
an issue
them,
with you, I'm coming to you directly.
so they
You can ask
deflect
those
off
people
on
I've
you.
had
When
issues.
somebody tells me, well, I was in the military for it. All right, bro. Thanks for your service.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing next?
Exactly.
It's like the people that say, well, I'm a Christian. Well, if you have to tell me that, then you probably aren't acting like a damn thing.
Yeah.
Okay? So
I'm a
anybody
Christian.
that has a
Me
question
too.
mark, I think everybody in this room is willing to have a Coke and a smile and sit down with y'all to work out our differences.
I'm not willing to have
But-
a Coke because
well,
I got
I-
Wait a
acid
minute.
reflux.
Since we're talking about Christians, I came
Yes.
up with a couple things I want
Oh.
to say. James
Come on, Pastor
4:11.
Laura.
Brothers and sisters, do not slander one another. Speaking ill of others is a violation of God's law and love. Ephesians
Go ahead now.
4:31 through
Can
32.
I stop you? Speaking ill of others things, it's
We're not speaking ill of
facts.
others. Yeah, right.
I'm requesting facts, and that just is misconstrued as an attack. But go ahead, preacher.
Do not be bitter or angry or mad. Never shout angrily or say things to hurt others. Never do anything evil. Be kind and loving to each other and forgive each other just as God forgave you in Christ.
I am
So
being loving and kind by
I'm
calling
not talking
out
about.
the stupid.
I'm not
You.
talking about us. I'm talking about the people. I have said nothing on Facebook. I have
Right.
kept quiet, and they keep calling me out. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm saying God's word, because people don't realize how actually religious I am and how I believe in right and wrong, and I believe this stuff. So I've remained quiet because I don't want to feed into this. But at some point, I have had enough,
At some
and
point,
I
you
must
gotta speak
stand
up.
up for
Well, I
myself.
shared
So
a-
again, if you have an issue with me, feel free. Let's talk it out.
Well-
Let's move forward so that we can make
And
Cumberland
if you
County
yell at Laura again,
purple
I'm
first,
coming to see.
Well,
and then red.
I shared that
And
Instagram
please don't yell
video
at me.
earlier today about Jesus being a savage.
Who?
Oh, yeah.
There was an Instagram that I shared with a group chat about Jesus being a savage. like Jesus was savage.
Well, he flipped tables and stuff, didn't
Well,
he?
he did. He flipped tables. He
He made water into wine
my
to keep
fa-
the party going.
My favorite one was when she said, how he was missing for 3 days and they couldn't find him. Well, don't you know I'm in my father's house?
Yeah, he
like
got
he
a little
was sassy.
Yeah, he got a little sassy with his parents. He couldn't have been my child.
Right.
I'd have slapped God.
Exactly, but because it's Jesus, you couldn't.
Sit down.
How dare you
Holy
not
Spirit.
know where I'm at? Like, he was savage. Like,
But my point is, let's all come together. Let's find a way where we can put all of this aside and move forward. Because as we live in, we need to address the issues. We need to not continue the same thing, but we need to be honest about when we're addressing the issues. So let's have it all out so
Let's
that we
be
can move
purple.
forward. Let's get purple first and then move to red, 100%.
Because to be honest with you, I have gotten, since I did that video on Facebook, I've gotten contacted by so many Democrat leaders in this city and county, even on the state level, that's like, what do we do? How do we fix this?
we get rid of him.
You get rid of them, but I've told them all, we got to work together. Nothing is getting done in this county if you don't work together. You've had Johnny Dawkins on the city council. He couldn't get anything done on his own except he worked with Democrats because it was 9 against him.
Well, and contrary to that, you had Glenn Adams and in charge of the county commission on the other side who would not work with the Republicans. And he said there will never be a Republican chairman of this commission. So it goes both ways,
and then you
guys.
have people like Diane Wheatley and Kirk Deviere and others in our state delegation that work together to bring millions, hundreds of millions of dollars back to Cumberland County. They only did that because they worked together. Whether it was red, blue, they
For the
became
people who
purple.
sent them.
In order to get that stuff done, they had to become purple. They had to come together for the good of the county as a whole.
What did Val Applewhite do?
Not a
Okay.
damn thing. But
So
you know what?
she
And
made
that-
a real
Let's make a
stank face.
plea at this time. A plea to Nina and her board. Let bygones be bygones. Come with your receipts. Show us what's going on. And if you made a mistake, let's own it and move past and come together with whatever slate gets voted on. Let's find a way to all come together. Whether you like me or you don't like me, you like anybody else, you don't like us, let's find a way to work together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Go
I
purple.
think go purple in unity. Let's get
Go
together,
purple
work
or go
together.
home.
And can't we all just get along? So again, this
Rodney
is Peter
King.
Pappas wrapping up the Carolina Cabinet After Show with I keep.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You're Pastor Bishop.
Yeah,
Antoine
I'm that
Miner.
guy.
We love you, man.
Here.
Laura, thank you for being here. It's
Thank
been
you for
too
having
long.
me.
And thank
Bree
you
and
for
Heather.
speaking up, Laura. Thank you.
Heather, put the guns down. And Jim, thank you for helping produce tonight. And we appreciate you very much.
Heather, don't kill
And with
me.
that, we will see you next
I
week.
see 71st.